concerned that I'm doing something that is like legally questionable,
Hmm.
even if it is, like I said, it's just on the level of like trespassing or whatever. But still,
Right. Doing something you're not supposed to be doing.
yeah.
All right, we're live. Um, so yeah, I mean, I can still
Okay,
talk
fair
about
enough.
it. I'm just not going to mention names. But
Gotcha, gotcha.
yeah, so to me, I just think that the company in question that they're
Oh, there we
supposedly
go.
working for
Hmm.
as a third party, it doesn't seem really like it's on the up and up, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, it seems like like you have anytime you have a significant like company, corporation, whatever, that they like contract out to the lowest bidder, and then the lowest bidder is people that are like, oh well, we can be the lowest bidder because we cut all these corners in order to give you this great price,
Mm-hmm.
and the mega corporation or whatever is like, yeah, okay, we like that because if anything goes wrong, that's on you guys. And
Right.
we can just be like, well, we just hired them. We didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then the other thing was is that you make like a base pay, right?
Hmm.
But then they say like if you make your commission, your base pay goes away and you just get the commission.
Yeah, so it's like you're given a minimum amount, but you could make more than the minimum,
Right.
is what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Which at least it's not pure commission. Good lord.
Mm-hmm. Right. But the base
Um.
pay is really low. So
Oh, okay. Then fair enough.
yeah. So it's lower than working for a bank, right? So even
Mm,
at the next supposed tier of employment, whatever that means.
mm-hmm.
And so the next thing is too is that if you don't, you have to sell like a certain amount, otherwise you can't stay on, whatever that means. You know, you're kind of hustling all the time. You're a hustler
Yeah,
basically,
that sounds right.
and then that aside, if you have too many people cancel what they signed up for, in this case the the service,
Hmm.
um, then if you have under a 24%, I think it was, or something, failure rate, then you don't even get your base pay.
Wow. So they even have circumstances that your base pay can be jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds like some crap.
Mm-hmm. So,
Oh yeah, no, no, do not like the sound of that.
mm-mm. Nope. So I'm very much, I don't know why we're walking there, but I'm talking. So
Yeah.
walking and talking.
And the thing is with that, I mean, again, if there's any question of ethics in this company, um, that's something that's their data behind the scenes that at any time they could just tell you, oh, darn, that cancellation rate or whatever, it exceeded. Oh no, I guess you just don't get your money.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of what, the data actually says.
Right.
So, um, wow. No.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I don't trust him at all. So yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna return my shit tomorrow and just explain like this what's going on and just don't I don't yeah. I feel like I've been misled.
Yes, I 100% agree. Everything that I've already heard with level of red flags, it's like, I mean, there's even stuff that are not great jobs. Still, I think would be better than this situation.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather work at a loading dock.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's jobs like that it's like it's not great, but it at least, I mean, unless you're turns out your loading dock is used as a front for like getting
Los,
contraband or
yeah.
something at
Los
the
Pollos
place. That'd
Hermanos.
be awful.
Los Pollos Hermanos loading dock. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
but at least in that perspective, Fring was a great employer though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he took care of his people. No,
Right.
like everything I watch about that, I'm like, I would work for him.
Right.
He's such a good guy.
I know, right? At least on the surface. Just don't piss him off.
um,
Just work for the chicken company, though.
yeah, yeah, that's the side I mean. Yes, of
Yeah.
course. I mean, he did literally like kill his, you know, uh, his other employee, whatever, just to make a point.
Right.
So that wasn't great.
Right. You think?
Um,
uh, I'm rewatching the show too, so it's very
mm,
uh topical for me right now again. Even though I've seen the
nice.
show like multiple times, it's like I don't know how many, fourth or fifth watch through or something.
Mm. Yeah, I actually still have only done the once for both shows.
Hmm. I don't know if I'll go
Just the once
watch
through.
Better Call Saul again, but but Breaking Bad is great.
Mm. Yeah, I feel like um I would be more tempted, I would say, to do Better Call Saul again, only because when I watched Breaking Bad, the show was already done, so I
Hmm.
was able to get the full experience of just going all the way through, continue the story, whatever. Where Better Call Saul, I was, I was like, there was like a couple seasons already had been released when I started that one, but otherwise I was watching it season to season,
Yeah, me
so
too.
years were passing by, and I feel like it could be a different experience if it were all binged together.
Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it might not be, but I'm just, it. Whereas, like I said, Breaking Bad, I already did it that way.
Right.
Oh yeah, there's like people. I guess like shoot them or something.
Yeah.
Maybe if I see them. Okay, well, that works too.
I like the fact that I think I can just shoot that canister. It still blows up. Yeah. You take the gasoline and blow it up. Perfect.
That's awesome.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
That uranium. Because for some reason they always store some uranium next to their anti-air turrets.
Yep. Uranium fever has done and got me down.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, hopefully there will be some other opportunity will present itself that's not so readily reminding me of the job that the main character did in Good Place when she was alive, where she was like selling the fake drugs to old people.
uh, I've seen that show, but I don't remember the beginning of it.
Yeah, well, so yeah, it's like the first season or
Yeah.
two, and they do like a flashback of what her life was,
Mm-hmm.
and and they basically say like, oh, they're giving like a whole training thing, like, oh yeah, when you call them, you're gonna have all these drugs, you're gonna be trying to sell them and whatever, and he's like, yeah, yeah, man, I know what this is. Which one's my desk?
Who does that?
The main character, that like when you find out that she's actually awful,
Oh yeah.
when she was alive,
Mm-hmm.
that like she's totally on board with the idea of just like trying to scam old people
Mm-hmm.
out of money to give them sell them fake drugs.
Yeah.
Just like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's a choice.
Yeah, it's a choice. I mean, I could stick with it. I just don't have it in me to do this.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in no way advocating for that.
Yeah.
But like I said, as you were telling me, like that's where my mind was going.
Mm-hmm.
Was the good place.
Oh, okay. I don't want to end up in the bad place where they ended up.
Yeah, that was a really good show.
It
I
was. It
actually
was.
really liked that one.
Yeah, it was good. Cheaty.
Hmm.
There's a city in this. This is the first Far Cry game with like a city.
Hmm. Oh yeah. All right.
Where are you? You're way down there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that where we're
yeah, that's where we're headed. I just didn't know if
ultimately
you
going
saw
there?
the
Okay.
city.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, almost dead. Or I'm dead. Hmm. I didn't
Yeah,
jump.
it's totally a skyscraper right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the one, kind of like reminds me of Orlando.
Right.
I mean, and with that said, it's like my memory of Orlando in like the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
you
It's
know,
still there.
like yeah, the with the SunTrust Tower
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it's called now.
I'm dead.
Wasn't Sun Bank and then it became SunTrust,
Yes.
or was it the other way around?
Nope. You're right.
Okay, okay.
You can't see the skyscraper from down here, can you?
Well, I was when I was coming down the hill.
Oh,
Now
okay.
that I'm actually here at the bottom, not so much now.
Hmm.
So yeah, so we're just gonna shoot some people, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it. Cool.
Let's do it.
With these bullets that pierce the heaviest of armors. Very different than playing Fallout.
Oh, yeah.
Like I have to remember, like, oh yeah, the bullets are gonna do something, and my aim matters.
Right. Well, that's the thing about Fallout 4 is that its gunplay's better. It's more like
Hmm.
closer to this.
Yeah, yeah.
Your guns do matter. Your aim matters more in Fallout 4. It's very similar. Starfield has similar gunplay to Fallout 4. I'd say Fallout 4 is still better than
Hmm.
Starfield, but as far as a gunplay, as far as a whole game in general, Fallout 4 is better.
That's fair. Is these open?
I played too much. Have you played? Have you started Tears of the Kingdom yet?
No, I was playing through Odyssey, and I need to go back and continue playing that. I'm not seeing how to get into this freaking building.
Me
Is
neither.
there like, do we have to use the zip line or something?
Possibly. Like it. No. Maybe. Sorta. Kinda. Wait a minute. The door is
Oh wait, there's a
usually.
grappling hook over here.
Oh, the door is right here. No, can't just go in here. Oop.
Ascend. All right, this is something.
Yep, this is right.
Of course, we have to figure out what to do once up here, but nope, this is a dead end. Another
Mm.
dead end. Then why would they let you up here? Just as a place to shoot people? Oh, okay. Climb up here. Okay, this is something. And
The
no.
other way. Oh wait. Can we just go over there? Oh.
Oh, you could fall down. Oh, you can employ gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, that was a good guy. Okay. So yeah, new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the thing today where there was a aircraft crash for the president of Iran?
Yes, I just saw that. I don't know anything about it.
So from what I'm seeing, like they don't generally know too much. They haven't said one way or another that if the president is alive or not. So I find that to be a little odd since they said they were in contact with the people. They were in contact with some people from the crash, and they called the crash some word to mean like mild or moderate or something like that to say like it wasn't as bad as just a crash boomed we're all dead kind of thing. But I did just check the hairline. I guess the president's still missing
Oh, really? Oh,
or
I thought it.
considered missing.
Oh,
Yeah. But yeah. So my thing, thoughts on this is, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's still, this is like literally today, early speculation on my part for this. You know, don't want to be starting a conspiracy theory or something. But I'm kind of wondering if there may be some involvement by like Israel like spies or something. And the only reason I say that is because Iran recently did that missile attack against Israel, and the global community was like, okay, just be chill about this. Like, there's no need to retaliate, Israel. That would be bad. We don't want to start World War III in the region. And I'm kind of wondering if this was them doing a retaliation based on the timing of it. So I don't know though.
hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know anything about it, so
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing. Like, there's been no, like, I am making a connecting the dots that is not in any way based on evidence that's been provided thus far, other than to say, one of those like moments that literally within like 2 weeks or something of Iran taking that kind of a like missile attack stance, that then suddenly their president just happens to have a like aircraft crash.
hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know. Obviously, things will be, I'm sure, discovered as time moves forward. But those were still thoughts that I had when I heard about this.
Hmm. Well, yeah, there's a conspiracy behind it. Well, they think that maybe Israel has something to do with it. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
Who knows?
yeah. But like I said, I haven't heard anyone say that yet.
I have. I've heard it.
Oh, really?
Well, I want to say Kyle Kalinske had it right in the title of his video.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough then. Because yeah, because I've heard it from the only source I've really looked into this is like, like CNN, NPR, that kind of thing. Like, I haven't looked at anything on social media discussing it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe there is something to that then, that just in the sense that I'm not crazy in having that thought.
Cool. Yeah, you're not great. I
So
was looking it up right now
yeah.
to see
Hmm.
if that's what he said. Um,
Hmm.
I could look it up on stream, I guess, but
Oh,
oh,
nearby
oh, well,
clinic.
here's what
Oh.
he says. It just says breaking a here. Um, I'll uh I'll do this real quick. Whoa, on stream now. Big face. Uh, here, let me go. Where's my profile here? Get to the right one. So many stupid profiles. Oh, this is the right one. There it is. Um, wow, 6 hours ago, and he already has 114,000 views on that video. That's
Mm-mm-mm.
insane. Yeah, it's not exactly the best frozen image of him. It's not exactly the best. It's just him in his bed.
Oh
I
my.
I don't know if
Okay.
you can see the stream, but
I could pull it up. I just Didn't have it pulled up. Let me find the app that is used for this thing.
So yeah, it says hmm,
Not sure why I'm not seeing it.
search
Weird.
for it.
Yeah, that's what I ended up doing, but
Hmm.
I'm just like, usually I'm pretty good about just finding them, and for some reason, not today. Oh, you're on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
There. Yep, I forgot we were doing YouTube now. Because I was pulling up Twitch.
Oh yeah, we're on YouTube. Yeah. Sorry.
That's. I know you said it last time, I just forgot how that was going.
Yeah,
Alright, hitting live. There we
because
go.
I can make
See
this
things
video
now.
as a live video. Granted, nobody watches these things, but at least I don't even know. I can't even say. I'll have to see what the last viewing was when I get done with this. But yeah, it says breaking. Iran, Iranian.
Ah, whatever. I'm
Iran.
sure one is correct, but
Right.
we're American. We can say however we want.
Right.
And then the rest of the world can be like, fucking Americans.
Mm-hmm. Iranian president helicopter crashes. Assassination attempt. You know.
Oh. Uh, yeah, considering. Oh, there was a question mark. Okay, because I was about to say, like, that's pretty bold to not have a question mark, but no, I see it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there you go. There you go.
All right. Well, hey, um, I independently came to the same thought, so
Everybody did. Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe, maybe just a little bit, considering they just bombed them like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that whole thing. That's like, I was so tired of it. I'm still tired of it, to be honest. I'm just tired of the whole discourse, you know.
Hmm. But going along with that kind of stuff, though, we did just have Biden saying it as maybe like a graduation speech or something, calling for a ceasefire.
Great, finally,
Related to the Gaza situation, but yeah.
yeah. And this,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. It's like that. That's pretty much where it was at. Oh yeah, because yeah, we haven't talked since then with the whole invasion of Rafah thing.
oh, I know, no, I know, yeah,
Um,
no, I know, but that's what do you? Oh, we stopped one shipment of weapons, and
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, we
big
definitely did
deal.
not do that all much, but I mean, just like the whole situation, how that went down. Like they're all there, and like over whatever weekend that was, the Palestinian Hamas or whatever said like, yeah, we came to an agreement for a ceasefire in Egypt, and everyone like started cheering in the streets, and then Israel was like, we don't recognize that. Bombs.
Right.
Like what? Like Jesus. And people are still like, well, they're not wrong though. Like, yeah, no, I think you're wrong. When your enemy is saying like, "Hey man, we just want to stop. Can we just stop?" and you're like, "No, there is no stopping until you're dead." Which side sounds like the villain there?
Mm-hmm.
Good lord.
Wow, crazy. Ugh. But then, of course, the right wing, they just took it Cox News. Oh my God, we're siding with Hamas because we stopped one shipment.
Mm-hmm. Of course, absolutely.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
but yeah, but I have heard that that is apparently our red line or whatever that they're calling it, like line that um, any further invasion in that area is us just no longer being a participant. Well, which is not saying we're going to stop them. It just means like, yeah, well, if you're going to destroy the last of anyone in that area, you're going to have to do it without us sending you additional stuff. Like they're like, okay, thanks. We're already good. This is the last thing we got to do. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still wish we just had a better response than that. Oh, we already got the kit. Okay. I was like, what are we doing? Um. So yeah, I feel like at this day and age, or a point in time, whatever. It's nice to hear Biden finally say calling for a ceasefire, but it's kind of like telling them to stop after they've already murdered everyone.
Right. Right. Exactly. I mean, you can't. It's like, what do you? You go in these doors? No.
Yeah, I think we have to go that long way away around again. So yeah, there is that.
I mean, yeah. What do you expect? Ah, people to do
Hmm?
I mean, Rafa. What? You're going and invading. That's where all the refugees are going.
Oh, so now we're gonna kill some people. Okay.
So it's just the discourse on the mainstream media is just absolutely horrid.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the right wing, even CNN and all. I mean, they're just so biased. They're so pro-Israel, and any like acknowledgement to even suggest that, hey, maybe we shouldn't be murdering babies
Mm-hmm.
or anything. It's just all blanket away. Do you condemn Hamas? Do you condemn Hamas? That's the first thing they want to know. And of course, the best way to answer that is, yeah, of course. Next question.
Right.
But everything has to be. You can't even have a a discourse back and forth about anything. You have to side with Israel, full stop, and that's it. If you say anything, you don't support Palestinian people. You don't support, you're not just anti-killing innocent civilians, mostly women and children. That's why they call it a genocide, And
Yeah.
it can't be that. It has to be, oh, you're pro-terrorist. What?
Mm-hmm. Or anti-Semitic.
Or
That
anti-Semitic.
too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because yeah, didn't they even do the passing the bill in the House or whatever about like new definitions of anti-Semitism or something in
Yeah.
America?
Mm-hmm. And you had people. Some of these celebrities come out like fucking are just so disappointing to see them. Like Jerry Seinfeld, John Lovitz,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
calling Bernie Sanders a self-loathing Jew simply because he doesn't want to see innocent children die. Well, it's like, what the fuck, dude? But the reality is it's something they don't want to admit publicly. Because you view the Palestinian people as subhuman.
Yeah. That's that is pretty much it. I mean, yeah, because I mean that's pretty much where you have to get mentally to be able to do like genocidal crap and have people be okay with it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Just do this button. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay.
And then of course people put it under, oh well, I'm on this. I love Bill Burr because Bill Maher is such a smug asshole.
Yeah.
Um, Bill, did you see that back and forth with Bill Burr
No.
and Bill
No.
Maher? Oh, it was great. Bill Burr just tore Bill Maher a new asshole.
I will definitely have to check that out then, because that does sound entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Because Bill Burr goes like, "What side are you on? You know, what are you on? You're in Hamas? Like it has to be this binary decision."
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like I'm on the side of the kids. That's Bill Burr's response.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Maher's like, "Well, he does that. Well, such a smug dick. You know."
Oh, yeah. Speaking of things I saw on social media related to all this, did you see? I think it was Piers Morgan was doing an interview with some spokesperson of Israel regarding like the casualties and everything over there, and basically, so he was like, "Oh yeah, well we have, we've killed like so many members of Hamas, and whatever. So like we had an account of that, and then Piers Morgan was like, and again, I think I have the name right. I'm not 100%. But still, he was basically like, so, and then how many civilians have been killed? And the spokesperson was like, well, we don't have the numbers on that. And he's like, so you have the exact number for the enemy combatants, but somehow you don't even have like, I'm not asking for a specific number, just give me a range, like what range do you think that there's been? It's like, well, and then so he continued to respond like, well, no, well, see, we're doing all these like really advanced techniques to ensure that civilians are not being killed, and it's like, yes, that's all well and good, but just can you give me any sort of number? And then the guy still continues to be like, well, no, I don't have any kind of number like that I can provide, at this time. And it's
Oh,
like,
I
and
saw
then he
that.
was like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's like, well, then how do you even know
Mm-hmm.
that your techniques are working?
Right,
Because you have no data
right,
to back that up.
right. And this is
Like,
Piers Morgan saying this.
yeah, like that was my thing. I was just like, it's like I will at least give him respect. Like he did not let that guy go. He
Mm-mm.
was just straight up like, you need to be able to say anything, like give us something. And the
Mm-hmm.
fact that you can't is extremely concerning.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's concerning, but it's the answer to the question is something that everybody else already knows. It's
Oh, for
because
sure.
the number is massively higher than what they're reporting,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want to admit. The problem with all of this is that at the end of the day, Israel's just going to keep doing what they're going to do, and we're not going
Yep.
to do
Yep.
anything to stop them. Um, you know, people over here, whatever, are saying we're not going to vote for Biden as a result of it. You know,
Right.
which is so funny to me that the conservatives aren't kind of on the protester side because I thought they wanted to get rid of Biden. Shouldn't they be encouraging them to like, yeah, get pissed off at Biden for doing this? Isn't this horrible? But no, the conservatives are saying the same thing. Look at how Biden's siding with Hamas.
Right. It's like,
It's like, wait
one
a minute.
side he's too conservative, and the other side he's not conservative enough.
I know. Why are they? Yeah, just so this whole thing is just silly. Why can't they? If I were a conservative, be like, yeah, yeah, let's get the younger people to get them to hate Biden so Trump gets in, right?
Hmm.
But no, no, and they're just trying to get to their base. Like your base, it's like who are you talking to anyway? As far as your Fox News or whatever, you're talking to the people. Everybody that watches Fox News, none of those people are voting for Biden anyway.
Hmm.
So who are you talking to? You're just preaching to the choir.
Yeah, yeah. I did hear one on it was on NPR, and they were talking to a woman that's doing like an organization for like or organizing voters or whatever against Biden because they're in favor of Palestine and all that. And her thing is like, yeah, I voted for Biden in 2020, and ever since then I feel like I helped contribute to this, and so I've made it my mission to remove him from this because he is instrumental in this having happened. And I'm thinking like, so you're saying that back in 2020 you wish you had voted for Trump because somehow you believe that under Trump this would have been better? Like, can you not do that math?
Was this a
I don't
liberal person?
understand.
Was this a left wing person saying this?
Supposedly, yeah, it was somebody that they said they voted for Biden in 2020, and just because of everything that's happened since October with Israel and Palestine and what our response has been,
Mm-hmm.
that she feels like she made a horrible mistake and
Right.
wants to ensure there's never Biden in office again or
Well,
something.
that was my getting to my other point was that what's going to happen is that people are going to say, okay, the young people are against Biden. So, okay, great. So you don't vote for Biden, and then and then what are you going to do? Vote for Trump because Jill Stein's not going to win, and neither is JFK or
But I
not
mean, yeah, we
JFK,
already have
RFK.
Trump saying, like he his stance is let them do what they want. In fact,
Right.
I think he's even said something about like destroy Palestine or something like that. Like
Yeah, of course.
he's come
He's
out very strongly
he.
to say like we should be doing worse.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to
Like
be worse with Trump,
yeah, like I don't understand how this person
which is the.
is not able to see
But that's why.
that. Yeah,
Good. Yeah. Well, I know. I don't know how they're not able to see that, but also, um, that's the thing with other people that, oh, I'm not going to vote for Biden because of this. It's like, and you think it's going to be better under Trump? It's going to be worse under Trump. And the thing is, the administration, the Biden administration knows this.
hmm
They know this, which is the reason why they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything to change anything. Because why would they? Why bother? Because they, it's like, then if they lose, if Biden loses, they just blame it on the left.
hmm
They blame it on everything except, making the right decisions. The idea of the left being able to um, push centrist, a center right Democrat like Joe Biden to the left during an election year is insane.
hmm
You can't do anything. All you can do is advocate for your position, but at the end of the day, the administration knows that you're going to have to vote blue because of the existential threat of Trump, which is their whole strategy
yeah,
essentially. And that's been the plan from day one. And it's the same reason why it's all these other political strategies. It's the same reason why we don't do anything on immigration because if somebody did something on immigration, then the politicians would have nothing to run on. So that's why nothing gets done there.
yeah. I love there's been some Republicans that have even come out and been like fully acknowledging the truth, honestly, of them saying like, yeah, we killed the bill because we wanted it to be a political talking point for us.
Mm-hmm.
And they were coming out to basically say like, I'm getting sick of this. Like, could we at least do something, please?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Like, I get it. Like, you're on the wrong side, but hey, at least you're kind of waking up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Right. But they have to. They have to get their. They have to have something to run on. And Republicans have nothing to run on, so they have to do that. And the Democrats, quite frankly, don't really have much either, because
Mhm.
they're not looking good in the terms of it as far as the constituency is concerned. It's really just the vote blue no matter who anti-Trump vote again. And people are kind of just numb to it all and don't care. And they don't really see Trump as an existential threat. I don't think the average person, because we've had 4 years of him before, and
Yep.
we're fine mostly. Um, so people are going, whatever, who cares? The average person's not really thinking, oh, Trump's going to destroy democracy and actually become a dictator. Because he's already said, I'll just be a dictator for one day. Who
Mhm.
stays a dictator for one day?
Right.
That's not really a thing. Not that I, not that I actually, I don't know if I accept the fact that he would be able to be a dictator at all. Here.
Well, the thing is, if he got both the Senate and House majorities, and of course presidency, I do think that there could be some concern that he might be able to implement some dictatory kind of things, and people would go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
So in that worst case scenario, like I feel like the only way we could really kind of stop that is if we maintain control of at least the House or Senate,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
and then and then we could just, and then from that point he wouldn't be a dictator. He would just be really annoying for 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Which is more than likely what would happen.
Yeah. Unless it's the House, in which case then 2 years from now we're going to have the same issue about like, oh, we got to hold strong, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Just 2 more years.
Right. But then if nothing, again, if 2 more years, if nothing happens, right?
Hmm. Oh, for sure. Then their argument is like, see, we told you. Oh my God, you guys made a mountain out of a molehill. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And then people will just become even more apathetic towards it. And
Mm-mm. Oh, so yeah, there was the on the related topic. So we haven't talked since the Supreme Court heard the initial arguments about presidential immunity, and that yeah, apparently there were several justices actually being like, well, we need to seriously consider this question, rather than this what should be the expected like laugh in their face and be like, what are you talking about? Get the fuck out of here. like like they were like, oh yeah, but because yeah, one of them made the argument. I think it was something like, well, we're really concerned about how without immunity, how many times that a political rival who then becomes president would go after the person that was the president before them, you know, and it's, that's really concerning.
mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, are you serious? Like you're serious? Like most of the time, that's not even a thing. Half of all presidents, I think, are just didn't become president again because of term limits.
Right.
Obviously, and I mean that since term limits have existed.
Right.
Not really before that. But yeah, that it's just like no, like the only time that that's ever been any accusation of that has been with Trump. And has anyone considered that maybe it's because he did some illegal shit?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Like wow, like that. So it was concerning, like the amount of people, of the Supreme Court justices that were like, yeah, we need to hear this out. And I liked what people were basically saying on social media at the time, and they, in response to people being like, "Oh, so you're saying that if a president, didn't like, say, a Supreme Court decision, and decided to have the Supreme Court members assassinated because of it, that would be legal, and that's what you're wanting to be allowed, right?" Like, it's just like taking it to that level of absurdity. It's just like this is the most obvious question in the world. Like, both from like a common sense perspective and from like every document that the founding fathers ever put together regarding, you know, concerns about the power of the presidency.
Yeah.
It is absolutely amazing that this is being, even entertained, let alone a possibility that, come next month, we might legitimately get like a 5-4 decision or something that presidents are immune to anything that's considered an official act.
Hmm. What do you think? Do you think when do we going to find that out?
Oh, it would be usually in June because I don't think that the Supreme Court ever gives decisions after June for cases that they hear before June.
Hmm.
And it's usually like something like the last week in June, or it's definitely like the last week of their official like session because they do it in like sessions or whatever.
Hmm.
That they're just like all the major decisions that are clearly going to be impactful to people's lives. That last week they're just like, here they all are, one after another every day.
Hmm.
I guess is like a hope that people, will whatever stance they take about the decision by the time the Supreme Court is back in session, that that people will have like calmed down.
Hmm.
Oh, we're fixing antennas. Okay. Um, but yeah, it's like I'm a little concerned on that one. Like I going into it before the oral argument stuff, I was very much anticipating, let's call it an 8-1 decision. With like Clarence Thomas being like, "Yeah, immunity," and the other 8 just looking at him like, "Are you stupid?" But now, I don't know. Because I think they were saying that because I've had this in my notes that Justice Alito also seemed to be signaling that he was going to vote in favor of immunity
Hmm.
during the arguments. So that would be, I mean, at least 2 of them right there that are almost guaranteed to be in favor. So yeah, it could get
Interesting.
concerning. Yeah.
Hmm. Where the hell did we get up?
Oh, I'm swinging a little bit or something. Mm.
Hmm. Oh.
Okay, I got that. Okay. Oh, it's locked. I see. All right. Yeah, this is the question. Oh no. I almost made it and then I fell. Oh, you already made it. Okay.
So yeah.
I made it. Okay.
Dum, 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 dum. So yeah, there's
So
that, and then
that is that is a wait and see.
mhm. Otherwise, I've been enjoying. I haven't seen the new John Oliver, the opiates thing yet, but
Oh yeah. That was also really good.
or
I when
maybe
I
I
saw
did.
it I was like, "Oh yeah."
No, I don't think so. No, I
Yeah,
don't.
because he was basically talking about how the money is going out to local governments and they don't know what to do with it.
Oh yeah, I did watch that though. Must have been doing
Okay.
something
Yeah.
else because I don't remember it that well.
Hmm.
What the hell was I doing? What was I doing? I must have been. I wasn't playing a game. I think it was cooking.
He's
Remember? Maybe I was
supposed to.
watching playing Fallout. I don't know.
I feel like if we can see through this window, there's got to be like something we can shoot to make the door open. But I'm not. not familiar with what it is that we would be looking for to shoot. Or maybe it's that door? No.
Do we need to get in there? I already flipped the switch. Oh no, that wasn't enough.
No. Yeah, no, I think there's something in there. But yeah, I think we have to like shoot something. But like I said, I'm just not fully understanding. Okay, I made something blow up, but I guess that didn't do it. Oh, so I guess that did it. Okay, cool.
Yep. Welding guns
Sweet.
fix everything, even electrical boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay, so one new one to go to, I guess, way over there. That's fun. So yeah, I got a few other things to discuss. So yeah, different topic. Did you hear that they got more promising news about the Voyager probe? This was a little while ago, but still, I don't think it really made as much headlines.
no, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so they were. So previously, it was like sending back some like garbage data, whatever. So they were able to send some signals to it to, I guess, like get some kind of diagnostic data back. And so they basically figured out that there is a section of memory now that has been corrupted. So they're they were able to like send some signals to the probe to, I guess, somehow reroute around the corrupted memory to the point where they have everything. The last I'd heard, anyway, they had everything working again in like a sense of like normalcy of being able to communicate, with the exception that they haven't gotten it yet to where they're getting scientific data back.
Hmm.
It's just like sort of going into that mode, which I guess is going to take some additional work to make sure that they don't touch upon the corrupted memory on accident. But things are looking good at the moment to, be able to continue to have Voyager 1 work for us. So I was like, that's nice. I enjoyed that, seeing about that. And then in additional space news, this was something today that happened, or maybe yesterday. Very recent. I saw it in the news today. That we just had the first black astronaut that JFK like handpicked was finally able to go to space
Oh, okay.
on SpaceX.
Wow. Hold on just 1 second. I got a phone call
Yeah.
coming in. I'll take this.
still hear you.
The desktop audio off. Are you still on the stream? Are you still watching the stream or no?
Yeah, but I'm not like actively.
No, I was just curious because of the way the concurrent concurrent viewers says one, but then it said zero. Now it says one again.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I ever left, so yeah,
Gotta be
should
just
just be
you. It
me.
probably just goes fluctuates up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I don't actually post any of these videos. I'm so close to monetization on my other channel.
Oh, I thought you already had it.
Well, first stage. I'm talking about full monetization. So I'm
Okay.
not getting paid for the videos yet.
Gotcha,
I
gotcha.
can. I'm a YouTube partner. Got that part. I got the membership part,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have the ability. And I can get super chats, all that stuff, but I can't get So the views that come in aren't giving me the hours. I aren't giving me the money yet. So the hours are starting to tick away against me because it's been over a year.
Oh,
Versus
is
with
that how that works? Okay.
yeah,
Mm.
that makes sense, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they would put some kind of a time limit on it so that way you're not just cumulatively going up.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, you have basically 360. You have to reach 4,000 watch hours within 365 days.
Mm-hmm.
So that means if I and my big video that hit the 40,000 views is coming up quickly.
Oh crap.
So I've got about another month or so. But I only have like 194 watch hours to go.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad.
And considering I'm getting like 15 to 20 a day, it's pretty good. And I do the live stream every Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I also post the videos too. Of course, it's been slow going trying to work a day job, but
Yeah, that's fair.
so in the meantime, I think I'm gonna do some door dashing.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can do stuff like that.
So I signed up for it. I'm waiting for the little bag. They gotta send me a heat
Mhm.
bag, like a
Nice.
insulated bag.
Yeah, I think that probably would be a better way to go um, than like being an Uber driver or Lyft or whatever for people.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I did a little bit of that, not where I was driving, where I was a passenger, and I was talking to some of the drivers, and they were even saying things like, "Yeah, you get some pretty crazy people, like people being in the back seat, and at any point, if they wanted to attack you, they could just do that.
Right, of course.
Like it's a little crazy because you're driving a vehicle, and that could be very bad for them, but." They could still like threaten you of like give me your wallet or some shit
Right, yeah,
like
of course. Or start jerking off.
I mean, I would be a little less concerned about that. That still wouldn't be great because it's your car.
I know.
But in the grand scheme of comparison,
True.
I would just be like, oh, come on, man, not cool.
I know. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, come on your own time.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Um.
Um,
So yes, I feel like the profit margin, whatever you want to call it, probably for delivering food is roughly the same anyway as transporting people,
right. Well,
and you don't have to worry about as much issue there. I think.
yeah, they say that it's like, of course they're gonna say it's good, right? I look it up.
Hmm.
They say anywhere from, you know, if you do it well, you can make like $30 an hour.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, that is balanced with the price of gas and wear and tear in your vehicle.
Right. Well,
But
then
yeah, it's not bad.
it's not bad. And they say average about $24 an hour if you do it all the time. And they give you this little like debit card. You get paid multiple ways. It's kind of cool. You can,
Hmm.
obviously do direct deposit, or um, you can take the debit card and put it in your wallet in your phone, like
Hmm.
digital wallet.
Yeah, yeah.
and then you can take that money and then you get like 2% cash back, bleh, cash back for gas. So
Hmm.
it's a little bit off the gas. Um,
Yeah.
so it helps a bit here and there. And then if you and then of course you get tips, and you get to keep your base pay and your tips.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Unlike the job I have now,
And just, I did know somebody, one of the people mentioned, of course, it's all tax deductible.
the gas, the
Um,
mileage. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because it's like they were like, yeah, everything about like your phone is tax deductible because you need it for the business.
Mm-hmm.
Your anything related to using your car is tax deductible because it's again your business.
Mm-hmm.
Gas tax deductible because you need it. Mileage, whatever, like any expenses basically that
Mm-hmm.
you could reasonably connect to that. I'm like, yeah, that is pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Usually with taxes, you have to make a choice. You can write off
Oh,
either
sure.
gas or you can write off mileage,
Mm. Okay, fair enough. But
and
still,
it's always better
it's
to
the
do mileage.
yeah, because I think the rates on that are pretty nice. So I'm still trying to make my way up this tower, and it's being kind of awful. Not
Really?
really sure what I do from here.
Okay. Wait a minute. Just went around a circle. Oh, can't go up there.
Yeah, because like you can go two platforms up, and then it's just like a dead end. And it seems weird that they would have you like climb up here if there isn't ultimately, you know, another step. Oh, there was something to climb.
Yeah, the vine.
Oh my god. I'm just supposed to remember that I can climb on that. Okay. All right, fair enough. All right. So we're good on that. Cool, cool. Oh, so yeah, so as I was saying before, apparently, if you hadn't heard, the guy that JFK picked to hopefully be the first like black astronaut back in like the '60s, to go into space, he never ultimately went into space.
Hmm.
So now at 90 years old, SpaceX took him up into
Oh.
space.
Oh wow.
So yeah, he is now the oldest person to go to space, beating out William Shatner.
Oh wow. Well, he was an
Um,
actual astronaut, or trained. Was gonna be.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think that's also just really nice.
Hmm.
Like you had that aspect for over 50 years of an expectation that like literally the president of the United States said yes, send this guy into space, and then it never happened.
Hmm.
I mean, that's kind of awful.
Did they do that? Or it's already over.
Oh yeah, yeah, he already went up, came back.
Okay. What did he say? Did he have any?
Oh, I didn't see if he had any comments or anything. It was just the article that I saw of it was just kind of a short story saying like hey, look, something nice happened,
Hmm.
amidst all the awful
Hmm.
of the world.
Hmm.
And then this is also their first commercial flight since 2022 when they had that space race, if you want to call it that, between SpaceX and Virgin Galactic.
Hmm. Well, this is SpaceX, not Bezos, and that's where Shatner
Right.
went up,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. 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 Okay. That's fair. Um. Yeah, what is that one called then? Because I said Virgin Galactic, but that's not accurate. Then
Mm-mm.
I just went to what I know as being the other name.
I don't know.
So yeah, that's yeah. What is Bezos's shit called?
Amazon Alpha Prime. I
Oh right. So yeah, that then. Um.
I don't know. Let me look it up. What is Amazon space program? The fact that the biggest online retail has a space program, ridiculous.
Mhm.
I guess it's just Project Kuiper.
Okay.
Origin, Blue Origin, right?
Oh, okay. Yep, that
That's what it
sounds right.
was. Yeah.
That's their name. So anyway, that happened. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the top. Um, just going down my list more, I guess chronologically is when I wrote them. I have that scientists were able to successfully X-ray an atom, and with that technology, they said that from a single atom they are able to determine, let's see, what element the atom was specifically and how it was reacting to nearby molecules. And I guess that has some good potential for future technologies at like a micro level.
Hmm.
So yeah, so it just,
Cool.
I mean, yeah, it's like I don't really know too much more about it than just that base level of information, but in general, I think it's nice to hear that
Mm-hmm.
there is technological breakthroughs. I guess along those lines, I finally saw Oppenheimer,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, that was a pretty good movie. That I will say that it's one of those like very artistic movies that I'm like, this is great. Yeah, I would say probably deserved Best Picture, without having seen the other stuff it was going up against. But I also do not have any intention probably to watch it again.
Yeah, me too. Same. Same. It was one of the things you see once. It's good. I'm good.
Yeah, but I could see like it was like a movie experience that I could see like, okay, yeah, this is an argument for why this would have made sense to see in theaters,
Yeah.
as opposed because I obviously didn't. I
Yeah.
just watched it here at home.
Yeah.
But I can see why somebody would say that that made sense to do, and why it would have been different than just watching it at home
Yeah.
because of the way it was put together.
Right. Yeah. The way it was shot, IMAX camera, beautiful.
Yeah. I will say, in the telling of the story, one, I do think it was maybe a bit longer than it needed to be.
Yeah.
I think there were elements that, in what story that it felt like they were trying to tell, didn't seem to make as much of like a necessity to be there, kind of thing. So most of the stuff like related to Oppenheimer's like personal life
Mm-hmm.
going on, with like the having an affair and the issue with like not being able to like raise his child or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. Now I will acknowledge what they did. I see what you did there, kind of thing with when the woman he was having the affair with, like ended up like committing suicide,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like blaming himself for it. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's like parallel for how he sees his actions creating the bomb, is like blaming himself for his involvement in that circumstance or whatever. I'm like, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
guess that's what they're probably going for. The
Right.
parallelism.
Well, she was a communist too, right? So they used that to kind of like discredit him.
Oh, apparently this place is blowing up around me. I should probably move. So yeah, but like, but at the same time, I also like, was it, while it was, I guess, nice to have that kind of parallel storytelling, whatever, was it necessary? I don't really know. And then I also, at the end, didn't really care for there being an antagonist. With spoiler with being the whatever Robert Downey Jr.'s character was.
Yeah.
Like because so much of that movie, whenever they're doing the modern future, whatever you want to call that, black and white scenes, there's a sense of like, okay, you don't really fully grasp what's going on, but other than there's some stuff, there was a lot of that movie that was just seemed to be out of chronological order.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like for some reason, like the majority of the story seemed to be kind of telling a story about like, oh well, should we pursue scientific knowledge for that its own purpose, and like at what point do you like make an acknowledgement of have you gone too far if you're concerned, because it's like that concern, like they're like, oh well, the Nazis are going to build the bomb, and they're like, well, I guess that means we have to, because they're going to do it.
Right.
And then it's like answering that question about like, well, do you though? Could
Mm-hmm.
you maybe just fucking not?
Mm-hmm.
As an option. And it seemed like that was the main kind of question, of that the movie was kind of going through.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like at the end they were just like, oh, but audiences might not fully get some of the more subtle, whatever, if you, I guess we want to call it subtle, elements that we have. So we really need to just have a moment where we've established a clear antagonist that people can be like, oh, we hate him. And then, oh, yes, he got his comeuppance. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then audiences can leave feeling, like a nice feeling because the bad guy lost.
Yeah.
And I'm
But
like,
I guess that really happened, though, right? Anyway.
oh, I mean, sure, maybe it did, but I mean, I'm like, there's a lot of things that could still happen, but not necessarily be necessary for the movie.
Yeah.
Like that is like, because for example, like they did like Lincoln as a movie, and it didn't end with him being assassinated.
Right.
It just ended with like the final days of like the Civil War,
Mm-hmm.
whatever kind of going on.
Right.
And so that's the point I'm making. So even if that actually did really happen, it's not. It felt like it was being pushed in there because some Hollywood executive said, "Yeah, but who's the bad guy?"
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, "All right, here you go, it's Act
Mm-hmm.
3. Oh, there was a betrayal, you know." So like I said, that was just my takeaway, that I felt like up until that point in the movie, I was like, okay, this is like, really kind of, like I said, artistic kind of movie, that they're really just trying to tell a specific story, and really make you kind of question your role in society or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever, blah blah blah. And then there at the end, it felt like, I would say, more like standard Hollywood formula.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that was really my only like criticism, I would say, of the movie, though.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
From my
I like
experience.
the idea of tying it all to. I forgot exactly, but they tied it all to JFK somehow.
I mean, it really kind of felt like they just kind of name dropped
They
him
name
when
dropped
they
him,
were,
yeah.
yeah.
But they he was Department of Energy or whatever, and
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is. They were ultimately saying that, I guess, the idea that Kennedy was swayed
Mhm.
by Oppenheimer's words or views enough to not support Downey Jr.'s
Right.
guy's bit, that, yeah, I guess there could be a way of saying like Oppenheimer passed the torch to him, and JFK really brought about a lot of the change that Oppenheimer was calling for. Sure.
Right. And because of that, they killed JFK. So there you go.
Right. I mean, but that's the sequel.
Yeah, that's the secret.
Um, we're setting up for the Oppenheimer universe,
Mm-hmm.
cinematic universe.
Oppenverse. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, they've already done a JFK biopic, so they don't need another. They've done multiple, but I mean, as far as like the
No.
official,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever, they've done enough. They've done enough biopics about pretty much everybody.
hmm Yeah, I will say I'm willing to give Oppenheimer a pass because I think this is one of those ones where like he was an incredibly essential element to the creation of the atom bomb and the world going forward from that point. But yeah, most people probably didn't know his name.
Hmm.
Whereas unlike most biopics, where it's like, oh, we're making a biopic for this really famous person, you'll come see it because you like that guy or girl, woman, whatever.
Do you think most people did know Oppenheimer or didn't?
I'm arguing they did not know the
Really?
name Oppenheimer. Yeah. Um,
Maybe
I
now that's how you
really,
know I'm a nerd, I guess.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think, um, like people know Einstein for
Well,
sure.
yeah.
I mean, but outside of someone like Einstein or that, like Oppenheimer, no. In fact, and I'm not just actually going conjecture. I actually had multiple people that I've talked with that did not know.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh, okay, fair enough.
That's so weird.
I
Like I could
I also
understand
think
you
that.
didn't know that when you were like 12 or something, but
Yeah, or at least be like, okay, well, I've heard that name before, connected to roughly that time period, but I don't. Other than like the name ringing a bell, I'm not really entirely sure what his deal was. Like, I'm willing to accept that.
well,
I mean, I think that you shouldn't need to be at that level, but fine. But yeah, to not know, like literally, like who's that? That's a thing, though. It's a thing.
but pretty much every single documentary you watch, no matter of any kind of historical thing, from fucking ancient aliens to, any kind of UFO Area 51 bullshit to the history of technology and development in society, anything, Oppenheimer is going to come up
hmm
because they're going to talk about the atomic bomb. The minute they mention, then the minute you mention the atomic bomb, you have to mention Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
So it just there's no way around it. So I guess that's and everybody kind of knew, like at least I think, maybe not. Like I have become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Yeah, I do also think that that is a what should be a fairly known quote, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like that quote might be more known than him as a person, but they would just not get what popularized it.
Right, because originally it's from the Bhagavad Gita, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I think they said that in the movie.
Right, but I knew that before the movie.
Fair.
Yeah.
Um, which I will admit I did not.
Oh.
I had associated the quote with him.
Oh.
Not necessarily that he created it for sure, but I was unfamiliar of it being guaranteed another source.
I watched a documentary on the atomic bomb, so that's probably where I heard it. I've seen several of
Fair.
those, so that's part of it. And what's other? Yeah, it's the that and what's the other? I don't know. Whatever kind of other documentaries I've seen. Like I said, any kind of Area 51, even the crazy kooky conspiracy stuff. It's like, oh yeah, if anybody's ever seen anything on the Cold War or the Cuban Missile Crisis,
hmm
you're gonna bring up nuclear weapons. And the minute you
Yeah.
do in an historical context, Oppenheimer's name comes up. Plus, his picture was on Dennis Nedry's computer in Jurassic Park.
Oh, was it? Okay,
Yeah.
that's not something I had noticed. That's cool. I have to check that out then.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice little bit. Fair enough. Um,
Yeah, you can see it right when, Samuel L. Jackson's access main program, access main security, access main program grid.
mhm.
Ah, ah, ah. You didn't say the magic word.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like a lot of stuff you said for why people would know this is from documentaries. And
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think, similar to just reading books, most people don't do that anymore.
No, I know. Most people don't read books.
Yeah.
People think like they do. Oh, I read books. It's like, no, you don't.
Like, you know how to read. There's a
Right,
difference.
right. The average person does not read books. And even though
Yeah.
audiobooks isn't really reading, I mean, we sort of kind of have to. But it's not really reading in the same way.
It's not. I will say, though, I'm willing to, in this modern day and age, if somebody says I read books and all they do is do audiobooks, I'm still willing to give it to them on
Yeah,
that one. Because, yes, it is a very different thing. Like, if physically reading a book will make you a better writer, whereas if you're just listening to a book, that aspect will not be there
right.
for your own writing abilities
No, because you're not going to
as
see
much.
punctuation. You're not going to see
Hmm.
sentence structure and all of that. And you're not really. It's a different function of your brain. It's happening to you as opposed to you making it happen. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. It's passive rather than active.
Passive, yeah, like watching a movie.
Hmm. Yeah, it'll just keep going without your active involvement.
Mm-hmm.
And where I mean, where words, it's like unless your eyes are continuing to the next word, which granted I would say after you're reading a bit that just kind of happens automatically.
Well, yeah.
But still, you're having to actively acknowledge those words and make them make sense in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, exactly. In an audiobook, it's like the words will just keep going, and regardless if you're paying attention. Um, so yeah, but yeah, and I did that as like I guess to also make a point about reading and everything, and in the modern I guess informed education level of the average people nowadays. Um, that yeah, that's to say, if it's a documentary, most people would be like, "Oh, I don't watch documentaries." Like I'm gonna watch something entertaining, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, documentaries can be entertaining, but all
Yeah,
right.
that's pretty much all I watch these days. I don't really watch. If it's not YouTube videos, I'm watching a documentary or a TV show or something. That's
Hmm.
short. I can watch an episode or two, and I don't really binge anymore.
Mm, yeah, that's fair. Um,
But anyway, I did. Take the car. I did. What other? Oh yeah. So another side of things, I did a couple other interviews for different jobs,
nice.
mostly for the banks. Do you have Citizens Bank out there?
I don't think so. Some reason I feel like I've heard or seen that name before, but I think we have a bank that maybe has Citizens in the name, but I don't think it's just Citizens Bank.
Okay.
Because my brain is telling me it's actually like a credit union we have out here.
Hmm.
That it's like Citizens First Citizen Bank or Unite or Credit Union or whatever. I don't know, but so I'm generally going to say no. I think it's a different thing.
Okay. Yeah, I've never. Anyway, so there's that one, and there's another one, Navigant. Just that I know that's local.
Yeah, I definitely never heard it even remotely that one.
Hmm.
Oh,
I
oh,
haven't applied
oh,
for anybody.
oh,
I know Bank of America is national, but I haven't applied for
oh
them.
yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, definitely a lot of national chains for sure. Like Chase, that's another one. Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo, Chase. Yeah, there's a Chase up here. I haven't applied for them or anything yet. I haven't done the big ones, smaller than the local ones. But, you know, hours are not bad. They're manageable.
Mhm.
Banker's hours, you know.
Yep, which is like even if it's a holiday that only 5 people celebrate, you get the day off.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, oh, I can't come in. It's National Pizza Day.
Mm.
So what a bummer.
Yeah, do we get National Pizza Day off? How about National Donut Day? No?
Oh, okay, there we
Gonna
go.
make a day for everything. It's gotta be, every day is a national day for some stupid thing.
It really is, and the only advantage I can really see at this point is places that, particularly the food ones, that serve that food. They usually do some kind of special deal,
Well, yeah, it helps
and I'm like,
market
okay,
them. It's all marketing tactic to get people to go buy shit.
yeah, but the deal's usually worth it.
Yeah, I
I
know,
mean,
but
yes, at the
still,
end of the day, they're still selling their scrap, but
yeah, it's still selling the crap. It's called, they
you
do
know,
these deals to get brand awareness, so you like it and you get hooked on it and go back and
mm,
pay normal price.
yes, that definitely tracks. Just gotta give them a taste.
Mm-hmm. Get them hooked on that donut.
Hmm. Oh yeah, you want that white powder, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Krispy Kreme. Just say no to the Krispy Kreme. One
Take
guy left. Where is he?
I guess he must be on a floor below or something.
Hmm. I've been down here.
He would. Oh my god. He's some dude just on the ground, and I don't think.
Oh, I think I see him.
Wait, is he? Oh no, that was a body. Oh, never mind. I thought it was a body that was like moving against the wall,
Hmm.
and I thought it was a guy like on his hands and knees, like somehow not like injured but not dead or something. I kept shooting him, but it was just a body.
So there's that, and I also did this other gig today. I did a church gig.
Oh,
I did audio video for their for the service. I live streamed it to YouTube.
okay.
Yeah, pays. So you just go in and you just sit there, and the guy that was there showed me the rope, showed me how to break everything down and turn it all on. And so I assume I'm gonna, if I it was supposed to be my training day slash, I don't know, trial something or other. I guess I did okay. I
Hmm.
did the whole thing, so showed me everything. So I figure like, okay, that was the guy's last day. I don't think they have anybody else lined up. So if that's the case, then I'll do it every week.
Yeah,
Something a little bit, not a lot of money, but it's something. Gets me
that
experience.
work.
Work, and it gives me some experience doing the AV stuff that I'd like to get into. So it's like a two camera setup, nothing too complicated, and you just have to do the switches between OBS. You run OBS like I do, like I'm doing now. Um,
Right.
so I was already familiar with that. Um, and you just have a separate switcher so you can go back and forth between the different cameras and set up the audio devices. And it's not complicated really. It's just getting to where understanding how all this stuff is hooked up properly.
Hmm.
If you have enough time to get everything. This is pretty straightforward, not that complicated. So, so yeah, that was kind of fun actually. And it's neat. It's not a like it's a Pentecostal church, I think, if I remember right. But it didn't really matter. I thought like, oh geez, a church thing, and I just kind of applied for it because it said audio video, and I was like, oh, it'll be something to do on a Sunday, and yeah, they asked me to do it, and like, okay, well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, other than getting up to go to church on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
seems fine.
Right. But the guy said the sound guy said he's like he's like he's like I did this, I'd never been to church. He said I'm an atheist, so so I said, oh well, we have that in common.
Oh, it's funny to me that you can work in an actual church in some capacity with less like Christian background than working at a Chick-fil-A.
Right? You can't be an atheist if you want to work at Chick-fil-A
Yeah, yeah.
or gay.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like we can't actually ask that, but we'll know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
They
uh
hide it. Fake people
it
hide
seems
it.
like it would be like that, yeah. Oh, we're defending
I think
against
they've
that.
changed
Okay.
a little bit their stance on that because they start see that was back when their company was smaller. Now they've kind of expanded
Oh,
nationally.
cool. One shot, one kill.
Don't you think?
Oh, I mean, yeah, they probably from a corporate perspective were realized that they like money,
Right. Exactly.
and that was costing them some money.
Right. Probably a lot of money. I would imagine.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the end of the day for sure.
Yeah, because it hurts the.
Um,
Yeah, even people that aren't gay obviously will not like that.
yeah, people that are allies.
Mm-hmm. Which is what I was going to say about the church is they are an open, I don't know what you call it, church,
Accepting.
accepting church.
Um,
So like they have the LGBT flag, they have the trans flag, they have all that stuff hanging in the church.
oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll admit I don't know what the Pentecostals deal is. Like I've heard of them, but I don't know like what makes a Pentecostal something different than all the other denominations.
Yeah, I don't either. I haven't really looked. I know it's Christian based. They did the Lord's Prayer. That was the only thing I recognized.
Okay.
I didn't recognize any of the songs. I didn't recognize any of the. They didn't really have a standardized sermon. It was more just riffing about whatever they did that day. It's not like the Catholic Church where it's rigid,
Oh yeah.
you know, or and you have like one section when the deacon comes out and tells his little story, which is extremely biblically, heavily biblically based. Where this is more like interpersonal stories. They don't really, didn't even really. I mean, they did mention Jesus a little bit, but honestly, it was more about human interest stories
Mm.
and more about it felt more like humanist groups, like if it wasn't for the aesthetic and the occasional mention of Jesus or God, it could have been a secular thing.
Well, that's kind of nice.
Hmm. And they prayed and stuff like a couple of moments where it's like that, but it wasn't like Deo Gracia,
Right. Yeah. 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 I definitely remember because I went like the like one time the last time I think I was out there with mom and she took me with her to church, and
Really?
I
Oh my
remember,
God, why?
I know, right? But yeah, it's like, so yeah, I remember it being like one of the takeaways I remember them doing was like, we will now be speaking from the sacred words of Luke, or whatever.
Hey,
Um,
what am I doing here?
but yeah, I'm just saying that. But it's like one of the what is it, apostles, the ones that wrote like the main parts of the New Testament.
Yeah, yeah.
They have like a specific term for them. And they're like, yeah, we will now be speaking that. And then they're just like literally like one or two sentences. And they're like, oh, and thus the words have been spoken.
Did they really
You know,
say
and it's
that?
just, it, I'm
Paraphrasing.
paraphrasing with the idea of it, but it was like very much like literally like having the honor of speaking one or two sentences of the great words that actually refer directly to Jesus. It's like, aren't we all here for the overall message? Like, how would you actually get anything out of this? It's like you literally took the part about being like, and then they walked further down the road and saw the suffering people from side to side, and thus the words are spoken. It's like, what does that mean? What do we do with that?
I
Like
would have.
that was my takeaway.
Right. Are you the Judean People's Front?
Yeah, it was just it just felt so like like treating it on such a level of pedestal that I don't think that like if you want to go with the full belief that yes, Jesus was a real person, like everything as written happened, that I can't believe that Jesus as a person would see that and go like, yes, I am being honored properly. You know, I think I feel like there would be a sense of like, no, just save my message.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the point. That's why I said it all together in full paragraphs. You know?
Yeah, I got the front. That's why I said it all together. That's why I said it.
Yeah, right.
No.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It would be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I think I got him. Oh, there's still more people. God damn. But yeah, so that was my experience. Is that it was so like like you would it was like the ceremony was more important than any actual messages that were to be found, and I could not wrap my head around that concept.
Yeah.
um of like I said, even if you want to be Christian and do the Christian message, whatever. It made me think of like back when they had the whole like not teaching people to read so that way they couldn't read the Bible, and
Mm-hmm.
it would just be the priests that would give them the information or whatever. It seemed like, yeah, they're still doing it that way.
I know.
People can read now, just
Was
no one's actually bothering to read it.
was this Catholic?
Yeah, yeah, Catholic.
Okay, so she's not Catholic anymore. So.
When did that change?
A while ago.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. Actually, I will also step away.
So anyway, You there? Ah, shit. I lose you again? Well, anyway. Hmm.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. Oh, did you just leave or did you lose
I did. I
connection?
stepped away when you did
Oh,
because I was
okay.
like, oh, well, then I'll just go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, I didn't realize that this started the fucking movie.
Mm-hmm. I
Um,
didn't forget about it either. It's nothing happened really. They just talk about whatever. Hmm.
yeah, interview. Yep. Okay. So I guess our mission was to like somehow disrupt this interview or something.
No, this is just what's happening.
Oh, well, because we were doing stuff with like radio towers recently and whatever. I thought it might have been connected to that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, mate. No. So that was interesting. Oh, I never finished my thought back on the just to mention it about the Palestine-Israel thing. It was like what's going to
Mhm.
happen is that they're just going to get to a point where the people are realizing like nothing's going to happen. You're not going to, no matter who you vote for, right? It's going to be worse under Trump or whatever. And then 10 years from now, eventually, when the conflict is either subsided or over,
Mhm.
one way or the other, then people are going to probably look back on it in history and go like, yeah, perhaps Israel went a little too far, and that'll be the extent of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's as they were pointing out with the student protests, it's like the history's track record has always been that history is going to be favorably on the side of the student protesters.
Right,
So maybe you guys should rethink this one.
right. I know, right?
Um,
How many times have we done this already?
yeah, but yes, I would kind of agree. Like here in America, I could see more remembrance about our response to the student protesters, and being like, oh yeah, something to do with Israel, and like that would be our level of kind of knowledge for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, Israel was doing something we didn't like, and oh yeah, but the American response, the student protesters, though, oh my god, like once again, they just didn't learn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
But I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, yeah, history looks back on, yeah, the protesters for Vietnam were correct. The apartheid
Mm-hmm.
in South Africa are correct. Blah, 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 blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. But did those protesters actually affect policy? No. It didn't
Yeah, in the
actually,
grand scheme,
in the
not
grand
really.
scheme, it didn't change anything. It just was a footnote in the history books of going, yeah, these protesters were absolutely right. Maybe we should learn from this, but we never do. And so the next time it happens, and it will happen again over something else after this
Mm-hmm.
one's over, and you know what? The same thing's gonna fucking happen. And so because the people in power know well enough that it does nothing. They're not going to change. The protests do
Yeah.
absolutely nothing, and the majority of Americans know that the protests don't do anything, and people, the average person, just doesn't really understand it because, well, I mean, it doesn't really affect you, not really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you think about it, from the average person is was worried about keeping a roof over their head and paying the bills and getting a job or whatever the case. They're not. They're not. Yes, it's bad and everything else, but to the average American, it's like that's another world. Might as well be another planet as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're
True.
not going to get the average American behind it. So it ultimately does nothing. That's the biggest problem with protests is they don't do anything unless it's something that affects, like, people would say, "Whoa, the civil rights movement." Yeah, but that was domestic policy.
Mm-hmm.
So that, of course, yeah, that'll affect. Hold on, phone
Cool,
call.
cool. What a shame that they dare try and stop us.
What a shame. Oh, stupid, 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 stupid people. trying to get
Yeah.
like this gig booked, obviously, right? And
Right. Right.
I just don't know what's going to happen yet because the person that I'm dealing with isn't great, doesn't have the greatest of communication skills when it comes to confirming shows.
Mm.
And she's triple booked bands before. It's just a mess, you know. So I'm kind of like, I'm trying to save it
Wow.
because it's decent money, you know, but it's like, come on, man. You got to get your shit together. So, oh boy. Um, yeah, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so yeah, that's it. If it's domestic policy, sure. If it's foreign policy, yeah, no, not really. It doesn't really affect you, and the protests don't do anything.
Hmm.
So like, yeah, you're ethically, morally, you're on the right side of things, but this like, does it really matter long term? No, not really, because it's never worked. It's not like, I mean, the protests for Vietnam were going on for how long before we actually got pulled out of there? 10 years.
Yeah. And even then, it's not like they were like, "Okay, we've given in to the protesters. Good
Right.
job, guys."
Right.
They were
Exactly.
like, "No, no, we're just stopping now."
Yeah. That's why it's just like, oh well, the history's on the right side of them. It's like, yes, but the government doesn't really give a fuck. They can say, oh great, yeah,
Yeah.
fine, whatever. It'll be in the history book. So they're on the right side. We know they're on the right side. Who cares? We're gonna do for what's in our own interests. So the whole thing is just silly. And so enjoy your protesting cosplay. Yeah, I mean, if you could show me evidence that it actually made a difference, I would, you know, then that's one thing. But like I said, civil rights different, domestic policy.
Yeah. I mean, I know it was like one, I forgot which one, but there was like one university that did actually divest their um, investments from Israel-based stuff because of the protesting.
Right, and of course that can help a little bit,
Yeah,
but that's
it's
not
a
going to
small
change.
contribution.
Small contribution, which of course is all they're really asking for. I get that.
Yeah, and if every university would do that, then that would actually be potentially much larger. But
Right.
they weren't,
They
so.
weren't, and they're not going to, and typically they don't, at least historically.
Yep. There's an alarm. Okay.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what all we're doing here. Okay.
Hmm.
Nice. Gunpowder. Yeah. So, yeah, it is where that is.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, since we're back on that, I think I may have had one other point for them discuss. Oh yeah, did you hear? Israel shut down Al Jazeera News
Yeah, I heard
in its
about that.
country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another one of those just like really concerning steps to be taking.
Mm-hmm.
To basically be like, oh, free press. That's not great for us right now. We're gonna need to shut that down.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, like, again, it's just there's so many things you can point to and say like, and America agrees, and that is like in direct opposite of what our stated values are.
Mm-hmm. But it's not America; it's Israel. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just don't know why it seems so fairly obvious that it would be a bad idea to keep supporting
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
funding Israel. But I mean, I just, you know, it's. I think the thing that boggles my mind the most, like I get foreign policy, you know, we're going to do what we're going to do and whatever. And obviously, we have an invested interest in making sure that Israel's strong. It's basically our military base in the Middle East, and having that as a strong, you know, presence there helps us keep a foothold there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's I get it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that from our own selfish self interest, that's why we're doing it. That's why we do it. The but but what really boggles my mind is where people, whether you know, will come out, not just politicians, are gonna and just say side with Israel and say, you know, like the stuff that John Levison said, you know,
Oh, that's one.
Seinfeld and all
Okay.
this stuff. It's like you're anti-Semitic, you're on the side of the terrorists, and da 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 da. Bill Maher does the same shit. And it's like, what about the kids? You know? Oh yeah, I never finished
Mm-hmm.
that sentence because Bill Burr is like, he's like,
Mm.
he goes that, oh well, it's easy to say, you know, it's easy to
Mm-hmm.
say you're on the side of the kids, but there's people have to make these really hard. People have to make really hard decisions. That's what Bill Maher's response to that was.
Right. Right.
And Bill Burr's like, oh, stop talking like you're a fucking general.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. Yeah, it was funny. It was good. Um, oh,
Well, I think we already did that
oh, we did
objective.
that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we gotta find trucks or something.
Main roads. Yeah. Trucks and billboards or something. Yeah. Um,
Mm, is that
Maria's.
a
So is
billboard?
it maybe like this one? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, and there's a billboard.
Done. Um.
Easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have to take down the huge ass statue.
This is an ass statue.
A huge ass statue.
It's a big. It's a statue of an ass. A giant ass.
Hmm.
Giant ass turns out to be a big donkey. Ah, that is incredibly misleading.
Right? Be like, yeah, it's the workhorse of our country,
Right.
and we have to honor it.
Fell to the sacred huge ass statue.
Um, yeah, like I forget where it's at, but there's a statue to like lab mice as a way of saying like thanks for your like sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
for scientific progress.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know where that's at, but it exists somewhere.
And they're eventually going to find the supercomputer in the center of the galaxy. The meaning of life is 42, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
let's see what else I had here. Do-do-do. Oh, yeah, the FTC has banned nearly all non-compete agreements for workers.
I hadn't heard about that. Yeah. I had to
Yeah.
sign one for this job.
Well, apparently, maybe I don't know when that's going into effect, but that's going to be banned. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it depends on there. It's certain things can still be um you can still have non-competes on certain things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it would make sense for like anything that's saying as long as you are employed by this company, you can't work for our competitor at the same time level.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm like, okay, sure. But I think this is supposed to be more for the for like companies that'll do the crap of saying like, oh well, you can't even work in this industry for like another year if you
Mm-hmm.
ever quit.
Right.
And it's like saying like, well, no, you're not employed by them anymore. You have no control over their lives if they're not your employee.
Right.
So yeah, so I'm all for that. I'm like, this is like common sense legislation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what's her face? Khan? I forget her first
On
name.
Nguyen Singh.
Yeah, no. You know who I'm talking about.
Um, Camilla Khan.
Is that what it is? Yeah,
Um,
I think maybe.
well, no, that's the
Oh,
name
oh,
for Miss Marvel.
with Marvel. Okay, no. Okay,
No, I still haven't got
I
to who
don't,
you're talking about.
I don't follow Marvel stuff that much. Past the
That's
Saga.
fair.
Um, the oh, what's her face? The FTC Con,
Oh no, I that's not a name I would know.
Lena
Like
Con.
who's
Jesus,
actually in charge of that?
Lena Con. She was on John. She was on Daily Show like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, fair enough. I will say the few times because one I haven't watched the Daily Show in maybe 2 weeks now.
Oh,
It's been a bit. But then two, I have usually been skipping the interview segments if I don't recognize the person.
oh well, I usually do too, but I did watch. I do watch a couple. If it's just some
Sure.
like stupid celebrity, I probably won't watch it. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
happen to know who
exactly.
she was already,
Hmm.
Lena Khan, because I forget who talked about her. Oh, it was on More Perfect Union, which is a
Oh,
great
okay.
YouTube channel. Um, I don't know if you've heard of them.
No.
No, but they're great. They talk and they talked about her and going after not only non-disclosure and NDEs, or no, I'm sorry, non-competes,
Hmm.
but also going after I forget what it was called. It was basically like um if you made over a certain amount of money, if you made over a certain amount of money, you couldn't get something. Oh, mandatory overtime for employees.
Mm.
It was a mandatory
Hmm.
overtime thing. So basically, if you made up to like $30,000, 38,000 or something like that, they didn't have to, you know, I want to say it was they didn't have to pay you time and a half for overtime.
Wow.
So
Yeah, it
yeah,
sounds like what you're describing is some crap.
yeah, they didn't have to pay you, but now they raised that cap, so you have to make up to I think 58,000 a year. So any employee that makes 50 up to 58,000 a year, anything below that, they have and you overtime, they have to pay you the time and a half.
Hmm.
So that was good.
Absolutely. And yeah, I do have here a note that says the FTC is being sued regarding the ban,
Right,
so that will be delaying enforcement.
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know they're being sued, but they have every right to go at her. And she is she's breathing fire.
Hmm.
She's coming after him. Good. Somebody fucking
Um,
needs to.
yeah. Absolutely.
They hate her. These corporations, they hate Lena Khan. Good. You want them hating you.
Okay. I'm just gonna Hop in here.
Oh yeah, destroy it with that.
There we go, and boop. And it's been booped.
Oh, we're in downtown the city. City downtown. Oh my god.
Oh, almost lost internet for a second, but I think I'm okay. I think I'm just gonna stay in this tank for any future mission, so
Mm-hmm.
it might take us a little bit longer, but I think it'll be worth it.
You should go park it somewhere. You should go park it at a base so you can spawn it whenever you want.
You think they'll let you do that with tanks?
Oh yeah, it's in there.
Oh my god, what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, it's moving pretty fast on main roads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this isn't that
Oh,
bad.
this isn't you. This is another tank. It's shooting at me.
Oh, okay. I'm coming. Oh, I didn't do much damage to it, actually.
Oh, oh crap. I
Oh,
was
no,
gonna say,
it's doing alright, I guess.
I'll take it. If I can. I don't know if I can. I can't.
No, I think if it's being driven, I don't think you can just get in. Oh, so close.
Oh.
Oh, I'm playing battle tanks.
No, wow, that game. I haven't played that. Super Nintendo.
Yep.
Remember what? Looking back on that game. God, I couldn't imagine what it looks like now. Back then, it looked so real. Why am I going backwards? Oh crap.
Oh, we pissed some people off.
You're running me over. So yeah, that's the thing I want to say. The thing I'd say is about the Israel-Palestine conflict. You know, what about the baby? I mean, that's really was Bill Maher's response. Oh, it's easy to say that, but somebody has to make the tough decisions. Or, you know.
Right.
So you're basically just condoning the killing of innocent civilians because it's the tough decision you have to make. You know?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
This is oh yeah. Well, we have to do it. Look, people. Yes, do civilians die in war? Yes, of course they do. It's called collateral. It does happen, but it's not intentional. And that's the difference, is that this is intentional. They are bombing buildings that are obviously full of women and children. Or it doesn't matter, men, women, children, innocent civilians. You know?
Yeah, and it's like if you're going to make the argument about like, oh well, you know, it's the hard choice we have to make. It's like, okay, then what advantage are we trading that for? Like, what when we're making this choice, are we somehow saving 2 children for every child lost or something? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm just trying to say like,
Right.
there's nothing other than saying like, oh well, it's just hard. Like, no, you should be able to give us a straight answer on that if you believe that to be true.
Yeah, no. Oh, well, because you're basically just saying, well, you're saving Israeli lives, but fuck the Palestinian ones. Because according to them,
But
well,
I'm saying,
hmm?
no, I'm saying like not really because like while yes there was some hostages being related, what their campaign is doing nothing to actually release those hostages.
Oh yeah, no, I
Uh,
meant like they're saying it like in the long term, the greater scheme of things, because ultimately the Palestinians just want to destroy all the Israelis. So we're saving the future of Israel. or
Yeah,
whatever.
but I mean, you could use that as a justification for any
Anything.
war ever.
Oh, I know. I
You
know that.
know?
I'm not saying it's a good
Yeah, yeah,
justification.
exactly. I'm just saying that like I would want them to have to go into those arguments on in front of a camera to kind of point out like, yeah, that's how ridiculous you sound.
Well, that's exactly how ridiculous they sound, but that's why they can't give numbers for how many people have
Yeah.
actually died.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, what are you gonna do? Nothing. But it's but and the thing I always and the other argument they always make is, oh, all of these they're harboring. Well, if you're harboring terrorists, you're one of them. Well, they're not all harboring terrorists. Only 50. You do realize that only 50% of the population voted for Hamas in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
a little over 50%, because they obviously a little over 50% because they won. Um, but so that means that tells you that a large percentage of the population doesn't even like Hamas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like if you did a vote today, I'm pretty sure you would get an overwhelming vote to remove them.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. Right. So it's not a choice of that. It would be like saying, "Oh, look at that," because every time it's like, "Oh, well, you're either pro-Israel or you're pro-Hamas." That's how it's worded. It's never like it's never Palestine. It's never referred to it that way.
Where are we?
You know?
Oh, okay. So it'd be a bit of a drive, but yeah, we could get there. Yeah, I'm gonna take this to the vehicle pickup point thing,
Okay.
because it's given me a path for it, which I guess is this way.
I could get in the front.
Um, yeah, I was about to ask actually if that's something you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Inside here, I can't really tell.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then
Okay.
um, yeah. So
Yeah, other than being in a tank is awesome because apparently you have like tons of HP, and with the perk that lets you just regenerate health while you're in a vehicle, you're basically invulnerable.
mm-hmm. um, yeah. So that's always the way it's worded, right? You're pro-Israel or you're pro-Hamas.
Oh yeah.
So you're either a terrorist or you're with Israel, which means there's no real way to be on the right side of anything, not in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just messed up. It's kind of like saying, oh, are you pro Canada or pro MAGA?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. Right.
Or are you pro Mexico or are you pro Antifa? You know, because the right likes the view that every Democrat is Antifa.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then that's another news thing to mention. Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, just pardoned a guy that killed a Black Lives Matter protester because he claimed the Black Lives Matter protester pointed a weapon at him and he was acting in self-defense. But when they went to trial over it, they, found him guilty and convicted him. But
Mm-hmm.
the governor was like, "Nah, I disagree."
Hmm.
So yeah, that happened.
Mm-hmm. How do you get the perk of that regenerative ride? Where is that?
I don't know. I just remember picking it at one point from something.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Um. Yeah, it's funny. It's that. I want to just say, it's kind of like the different. I don't know. Maybe this is a bad analogy. I don't know. I'm not an expert
Hmm.
Yes, FarCry. Take a right.
Yeah, but I just wanted to, blow up that truck. Felt good.
Um, the the view of I was saying, like, imagine like there's two neighborhoods. Like you live in one neighborhood and you have other people live in another neighborhood, and your neighborhood, whatever, one house from your side of the neighborhood decides to go over and like burn down a couple of houses in the other neighborhood.
Hmm.
And so that other neighborhood says like, and you're like, no, that was, this these houses burned down that stuff, and they're like, no, we're just gonna go in and just nuke your entire neighborhood. You're all gonna die.
I think that counted it.
You can find out when I look at the thing.
Well, did you see the thing come up on the right-hand side of the screen?
I think so. Yep, it's there.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Sweet. We're now the proud owners of infinite tanks.
mm-hmm. So was that fair analogy or no?
Yeah, I mean there was yeah, no, that is pretty accurate. Yeah, thinking about it. Because, we are basically just completely. Oh, you know what? No, we probably shouldn't say nuke. We should probably just say
Okay, well,
some kind of big bomb and then say, like, oh, and by the way, afterward, now that we've completely destroyed their neighborhood, we're going to build a new neighborhood over there for ourselves.
right.
Like, that would be I think, the ending to that analogy. But otherwise, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but the idea is that, yeah, we're just gonna wipe out your. Actually, we're just gonna level. We're just gonna turn your neighborhood into a pancake, and then
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah. But we weren't part of that. You're complicit, part of your neighborhood.
Yeah. We're all under the same HOA.
Right. Yep. You're under the other that HOA.
Hmm.
But these people were from Neighborhood Watch. Yeah. And then yeah, we're done. We're gonna build a condominiums over there.
Hmm.
Which of course is another aspect to all of this crap is that even Jared Kushner came out and said this is great real estate.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of people that, are saying the quiet part out loud.
Mm-hmm. Was you sure that's what Mitt Romney was saying about why they're actually banning TikTok?
Oh, no, I didn't hear that.
Well, obviously the whole ban on TikTok happened long before this whole Israel-Gaza thing.
Hmm.
But the bill itself that was coming up to vote on passed really quickly as a result
Right. Yeah.
of the fact that the bulk of left-leaning people are on TikTok. A lot of the news about TikTok is predominantly pro-Palestine. Again, I want to say he says pro-Hamas.
Sure. But yeah, no, it
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah.
right. And so he even said, like, right out loud, it's like that's why there was such a unanimous vote to get rid of TikTok because
Mm.
yeah, they want to keep sequester information.
Yeah. Another classic, what you're doing, what you accuse the other side of doing
Right,
thing
right,
when it was back with Facebook and Twitter being
right,
accused of silencing the right. Yep.
right. Yep, that's it. Yeah.
I believe it.
Not that I'm a fan of TikTok, but
Well, yeah.
I think it's making people dumb. But I have my
And
reasons.
shortening attention spans even further.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, yeah, well, you can't tell me this in 15 seconds? Like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, not everything can be explained in 15 seconds, and that's why there
Mm-hmm.
are things that are complicated and need to be given more attention than that.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, from like a political perspective, it's too much that like, oh well, tell it to me in like a catchy, like one sentence slogan,
A bumper sticker.
and that's what I'll remember and tell people about.
Right. They want bumper sticker slogans. It's not,
So
you can't do that. Not with everything, anyway. Most things you can't. But I mean, it's same
yeah,
thing. There are
exactly.
other things that are more complicated that you have to learn. I mean, take a complicated, take an RPG, right? You're not learning how to play Dungeons and Dragons in 15 seconds.
You can't do anything in Dungeons and Dragons in 15 seconds.
Right. Or whatever. Even the shortest TikTok video can be 10 minutes, I think.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah,
Sure.
I I'm just going with the stereotypical whatever.
Right. What? Right. But either way, it's not so much the TikTok as a resource to like share information. If it were useful information and good resource, I would be totally fine with it, but it's not. It's just a bunch of stupid people making dumbass videos all day.
Hmm,
I
hmm.
mean, some of the dumbest shit you've ever seen people do. I just can't believe that it's like this is what humanity has devolved into. It's really bad. There's this great YouTuber called Joey B Tunes, and he just takes TikTokers and just rips them a new asshole.
Nice.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have the greatest political takes. He's a little bit, middle of the road. He's not really doesn't sound like he's really one way or the other.
Hmm.
But, you know, because there's plenty of shit to criticize on both sides, the left and the right, especially the more extreme. And you don't really want to listen to too many people that are young, because they don't really know, they don't have enough life experience to really know what they're talking about.
Hmm.
They haven't read enough, they haven't experienced enough. Um, that doesn't mean that they're not. Some of them aren't on the right side of history, or might not be on the correct side of things by accident, or they just happen to be there, on the right side. It makes sense, but they didn't come to these conclusions by themselves most of the time. They were
Hmm.
kind of like, talked into it, maybe correctly, maybe not, but this is just one of those stupid race to.
Oh, I see what you mean. Shit. Okay. Well, maybe there'll be a car. Actually, there's a horse.
Oh, I'm gonna try to fly there.
Well, I'm not doing much better. I was trying to get a horse, but some random people stole the one I was trying to get to.
Hmm.
So, oh wait, no, here's one. Okay. Granted, it took me a lot longer to get than I was hoping for, but maybe this will be all right.
Problem is I don't have one.
There's some to your right. It looks like, and now there's a fence that I can't surmount.
They're wild horses, though.
Uh,
But anyway, so, but he does take the piss out of them pretty good, and I do enjoy that.
mm-hmm.
Um, that aside, yeah, you want to say like these people talking about the genocide or talking about, it's okay to kill women and children to kill these people. It's like justify however you're going to justify. It doesn't really matter. Oh, it gave me a horse.
Oh, that's
Teleported me to you
nice.
and gave me a horse. Once we get close enough, the timer will disappear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're pretty close right now as is, so I'm thinking we might make it.
Yep, we made it.
Oh yeah, we're awesome. Oh, now I fell off my horse. Not wasn't the best.
I need a better gun. Not like that gun.
Oh.
You got that?
Yeah, I'll have to check and see if you have the one I'm using, but I literally don't even change my gun anymore. Like, this gun is so good. It is like if a sniper rifle could be an assault rifle, or however you want to look at it. It's like a hybrid of the two.
What's the name of it?
It is inventory. No, arsenal. Here we go. It is the Surf and Turf.
Oh, I have it. Yeah, I actually equipped it right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
I have it upgraded to where it has maximum velocity, so that way whatever helmets, the bullet goes through their helmet, and the speed it fires is just your click speed.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave it a scope for zooming, assuming it doesn't already have that. I don't remember.
Yeah, I did that too.
And yeah, like I literally have not switched weapons this playthrough for sure, but I want to say even the last time we played too. And then I just get headshots on everyone because damage doesn't matter if you headshot them. Although I think it still has a decent damage rating from what I was seeing, but you know, at least that doesn't ultimately matter that much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, plane.
Yeah. I guess, this is the Gen Z's Vietnam,
Yeah.
Just like
Not.
Iraq War was millennials Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's got their war.
Yeah, at least until it's different until we have boots on the ground, at least.
Right. Yeah, it's different. Yeah, that again,
Mm-hmm.
that was a difference. There was America. It was domestic policy to a certain degree, but it's foreign policy and military. Anything to do with the military, you're not going to win that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see them being like, so yeah, this aid pier that we made, like that's American property now, so we have to defend the aid pier.
Mm-hmm.
Like thousands and thousands of troops must defend the pier. God damn it.
Mm-hmm. We send the weapons to kill the people we're trying to save.
Mm-hmm.
What? I mean, of course we want to send them weapons, but that's because the military uses private contractors to make all the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Military industrial complex. That sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's not.
Yeah. Yes. If a president of the United States says it, it's a pretty good bet that's a real thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Eisenhower, right?
Yep. Yep.
Hmm. Sought
Like
or
he
unsought
literally
by the
coined the
military.
term.
Yep. Whether sought or unsought by the military industrial complex. Can't remember what came right before that. I just
Guess we can.
I know that part.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I know in one of my classes they did play us, I think, the whole speech if the speech was short.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, then maybe they gave a longer segment where he was talking about it.
I've seen the
But
whole
yes, I
speech.
have seen
Yeah,
it.
I've seen the whole speech.
Yeah.
If you're interested in history or interested in American history, it's like you should watch that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been interested in American history. I don't know why. Probably because our parents drilled it in our heads.
Yeah. But also, like, there's so many people that are like this, like hard patriotic Americans. I own like 50 American flags or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
fuck. And then you ask them an American history question, they're like, "Oh, I can't be bothered with that." Blah blah. Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, how can you claim to love your country if you don't know anything about it?
Mm-hmm. I know, right?
It's like, learn about it and then tell me how much you love it.
Right.
You know, and if it's the same amount, hey, great.
I still love America, but I love. That's why I criticize it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've heard that argument about, like, if you're criticizing America, it's like, well, you can leave anytime, whatever,
So can you.
right? Um, but yeah, it's like, well, that's the whole point. It's that we're saying we're pretty good, but there's always room for improvement.
Yes. Another way to put it is, yeah, America sucks, but it sucks less than everywhere else.
Generally speaking.
I don't know. People say, "Oh, what about this? Oh, what about all this crap you have?" And I'm like, look, at the end of the day, I wouldn't live in any other country. Yes, we have our problems. Yes,
Mm,
I would like to have universal health care. Yes, I would
mm-hmm.
like to have less guns out there,
Mm-hmm.
more gun regulation, stuff like that. Um, I would like to see more social programs go to people that really need it, be able to have a social safety net so people can get back on their feet effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Free education, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or at the very least, very cheap education.
Yeah,
Um,
or free to those who need it to be free.
right, right, free. Yeah, exactly. But then
So
you'll,
like, this is more like adequately subsidized education.
yeah, right, exactly. It's like if you can afford the education and it's not going to hurt you in the long run, then you could pay for it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Yeah.
should also be taxing, or give it to free, give it free. That's fine to everybody. But those people also get taxed more as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they make it up, you know.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand people like are so anti student debt because,
Yeah,
or
for
eliminating
sure.
student debt because it's like, and they always say, "Oh, I'm not going to pay for some." They actually will say this. They will actually say this, which is so ridiculous. They don't even hear themselves. I don't want to pay for some rich kid's college education.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Really? Do you really think that rich kids need you to pay for their college education or anybody to pay for it? No, they're rich. They're already paid for it.
Yep.
They don't have debt. The whole thing is so stupid. And then
Yeah, I think there's a sense that rich people who, I guess, were planning for maybe this to happen, because it's only way it makes sense if you did plan for it, took out the money, and then they were like, because I know it'll be free money once it's forgiven by the government,
right,
but they didn't need it because they're rich.
yeah. Well, yeah, and I think the bottom line is they just don't want. I didn't get it for free, so you don't get it for free.
Oh yeah, there's definitely that for sure too.
That's really what it is. They just don't want to help people. You made the mistake, even though most people who have massive student loan debts were took out loans that are essentially a lot of the times kind of, they're not illegal technically, but
Oh, like predatory loans?
they're predatory. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and half of the money that they pay every month is like a second rent, and
Yeah. I
it
feel like it's a
doesn't get.
halfway thing of saying loan sharks.
Yeah.
It's like, they're not a loan shark, they're just predatory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, but most of the money doesn't even go to the principal.
Oh
Most of
yeah,
it
yeah,
goes to
exactly.
that, and they just shrug their shoulders. Oh well, you signed up for it. You took on the debt. It's like, yeah, because their parents and everybody else told them that they had no other choice, that they had to do it, otherwise they wouldn't be able to get a job,
Yeah.
which of course was
Also, I don't know
bullshit.
if you were aware of this. When you take out a student loan, they don't tell you what the interest rate percentage is going to be.
Really?
Yeah, you just find that out later.
So that's bullshit.
Right?
That's right to me, right there. That's grounds for it being illegal. That
Hmm.
I mean, so there you go. So you're taking out a student loan debt and you don't even know the full thing. With a credit card or any other type of loan, you know what your
Yep.
percentage rate's going to be. You don't know what it's going to be. If you don't know what it's going to be for student loan, yeah, no, that's bullshit.
Hmm. And yeah, you get.
Bullshit.
I mean, you're like wildly different numbers. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the so like I will say because I have student loans still,
Right.
and I I would admittedly be making more effort to pay them off if I didn't want to see how this was going to play out first.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do know I actually do have a pretty good percentage rate on mine,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's another reason why I'm like I'm willing to kind of wait it out, see what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But but I mean I purely like literally I didn't know what my percentage rate was until like a year ago when I actually thought to look
Mm-hmm.
because it was like nowhere like obviously given to me of that information. And I've heard of people that have like rates that are, you know, like more like 7 or 8% or something APR
Mm-hmm.
or APY or whatever the term would be to say like that percentage is added every year.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like that's if you're talking about a student loan debt of even like say $50,000 and you have 8% being added every year, that would be $4,000 if I'm doing the math right on that. So, and if your so then that means your monthly payments of, you know, to make it equal for 12 months would be what, like, I'll just ballpark say 350. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
something around there. 400 divided by 12 is escaping me right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I mean that would be literally just the interest that you'd be paying monthly, and that's a lot of money for people to be doing monthly, as is. Like that's like a car payment.
I know. Right. Exactly. It's way too fucking high. The student loans are way too high. You know what I say? I say, okay, fine, make a compromise here. How about this? Everybody that you're not going to pay off the student loan debts completely, but here's what you do. Anybody that's ever, if that's paid their student loan debts, all of the money that they've paid, the interest goes away and everything that they've paid gets automatically applied to the principal.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That would cut out a large chunk of it.
Yeah, actually, I did hear that is Biden's latest attempt for like how he's going to try to give people the $10,000-$20,000 that he was wanting to do. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that was a real guy. Um, that he's trying to say like, oh no, we're not forgiving debt. We're forgiving the interest on the debt in
Mm-hmm.
those amounts.
Yeah.
If the interest would apply to that, oh, then you'll get the. It's like so. In the end, he's still giving them that. But now it's like a technicality. We're calling it this other thing instead. And I'm like, okay, Biden. I mean, like you say, I would much rather the approach of just saying, hey, maybe we, you know, just give everyone a break on the interest and it's like why does the government need to make money off of this deal?
Mm-hmm.
Like just have it be a program that you temporarily take the money out and then you put it back for the next people to take out.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like Social Security, sort of, but student loan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think that's very reasonable. I don't see why that would be a problem personally.
Yeah, then you're not like, and then of course any overage, then you just tax some corporations and get them to, why don't you go after the corporations that are putting their money in all the offshore islands?
Right?
Between
Oh,
that,
but if you go after corporations too much, they'll just go to another country.
yeah, where are they gonna go? that doesn't already have stronger anti-corporate laws.
It's like,
Singapore,
yeah,
that's the only other place I can think of.
yeah, I'm like any company that's going to be taking the stance of, oh, I'm going to go to a country that's really cheap, blah blah blah, then they were going to do that anyway.
Right.
Like, uh, unless you make it like literally less than those other places, um, but yeah, they're going to take that stance of just like, well, no, I'm just going to save the buck, blah blah blah, and let the chips fall where they may. And usually it ends up going badly for them
Mm-hmm.
from if you cheap out too much. Um, and then of course then just getting into the cost of doing business mentality. But still,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it gets them to do better. But yeah, I think there needs to be more of a unified response in the developed world, if you want to call it that, or of saying like we need to.
Uh-oh.
Okay, yeah, my internet went out.
Okay.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, I'll have to get another invite from you. But yeah, it's like we need to make a like some kind of like minimum agreement that we all say companies got to adhere to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like if you want to do business in the developed world, you got to do these minimums.
Right. Yeah, there has to be checks and balances. You don't want to have a system where corporations run everything.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not. And you don't want a system where the government is and the state is dictatorial and running everything and
Exactly.
not giving any freedoms whatsoever. But right now we live in such a, you know, autocracy, oligarchy, plutocracy, whatever you want to call it. I've heard it called all these things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where that to me is just, you know, you have to have the balance. You have to have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You can't be just completely one-sided. But if I'm going to be leaning more towards one side or the other, I'd rather be more government with a constitution than a corporation with a policy that they can change on a whim.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But people don't think about it that way, which
Yeah, because I think so many people when they think about government, I think they think there's too much of a sense that like the president can just, wave his arm and things happen, like in the same way like a monarchy works or something.
well, that's because
Um,
yeah, that's why they want. Why do you think Donald Trump is so popular with morons?
yeah.
Because they think of the presidency as like a monarch, as a king, god king, or something.
Mm-hmm.
The president has actually very little power, and that's funny too, because they'll turn around and say that too. Well, the president's actually being, you know, doesn't have much power, and he's just being, pulled in one direction or another, or because they'll even admit it. Well, they say, well, he's not really. This one's so funny to me. The He's not really Joe Biden's not really the president. It's Obama's pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that one.
It's like, wait a minute now. So the president. So you're saying the president doesn't really have that much power, right? That's what you're really saying. Well, actually, the real president is still Donald Trump. Oh, okay, really? So he's responsible for all the inflation and everything. Oh, no, 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 no. They want their have their cake
Mm-hmm.
and eat it too. It's just like they. I don't know how people like that live in that with that much cognitive dissonance going on.
I guess just by not thinking about it all being put together like that.
Is that even possible?
Yeah.
I don't even know how that's possible. Or yeah. Yeah, I wanted to have one more final say about that the Palestine conflict. I wanted to say,
Mhm.
you know, you're all the innocent civilians, oh, well, we're doing this and that and making hard decisions. And, I'm always reminded of the quote. It's like, how many people does it take before it becomes wrong?
Mhm. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. 1,000, 10,000, a million. How many does it take, bro? Ah, crap. Hit the wrong button.
Mm. Fair enough.
Hmm. Oh, what? Deer. Oh, dear. Deer meat. Just random deers on the road.
Um,
Um,
mm. but yeah, speaking of I guess good things Biden is administration has been doing. Um, there was also the airline change
oh, I didn't. Oh,
that just
yeah.
got announced.
Something about, like, they have to, if they cancel.
Yeah, if there is a cancellation or significant delay within to where the delay is more than 3 hours, then the airlines have to be set up in such a way that they will issue their passengers automatic cash refunds to their accounts,
That's awesome.
and also for lost baggage,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
refund for the whole trip. Yeah.
Yay, Pete Buttigieg.
And then all fees that would be charged for whatever reason have to be disclosed before tickets are purchased. So even things that are, because I guess there's some companies that do like, if you check your bag at the airport rather than I guess pre-check on the app or something like that. I don't know what the deal
Yeah.
is with that. They'll charge you like a higher fee. And so yeah, they're like, no, you have to say up front that if you're doing it that way, then that's how it works. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that announcement was like that was freaking great. Like that was just like good news day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's things like this that I'm just like, because I think people point to like, oh, are we better off now than we were 4 years ago? Like question for Biden. It's like, oh, what has Biden done for us and things like that. And it's like this kind of stuff happens under Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it a relatively small thing? Maybe. I guess in the grand scheme of things, sure. But does it make our lives better and easier? Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like this removes so many of the issues and concerns where that of dealing with airlines that would just be like, oh no, there was an issue, blah blah blah. Oh, we'll give you, uh, airline flight points or whatever to be able to redeem a flight. Like the issue that I had when I was up visiting you. And then, granted, I guess I still have the points to where I could basically get a free flight, but under this policy, I would have just straight up got a full refund for the entire trip.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome.
Right. Exactly. Right.
It's like, you know, it's like you don't want to have any issues under this new ruling, then get your shit together, airlines.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not that hard. Like everyone else does it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, love that. And then also another thing that I don't think made as much headline news, but I think it should have. The ruling of net neutrality was restored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's huge. Like, it went away under Trump, and now it's back.
Mm-hmm. But is it official?
Yeah, yeah, that was it was a vote from the um not the FTC. Or was it the
FCC.
FTC? FCC. There we go. I was like, I know the letters are pretty close.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
if it's
FCC.
FCC, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they did another vote, and it was like a 3-2 vote in favor of restoring net neutrality.
Yeah, because if it's an
But
FCC vote, then
mhm,
Congress doesn't or the president doesn't have to be involved. Well, they're answerable only to the president, but they don't have to go through Congress.
mhm. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it like that. It is that was the thing. Like when I heard it in the news, it was them saying the vote happened. It's in effect now.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So
Oh, that's why I
yeah,
haven't had any lag.
maybe that could be a thing.
Well, that's what it
Um,
does. I mean, that's part of what it does.
yeah,
I mean, essentially, like you're not going to get any lag when you have like good quality internet or whatever, but they can't throttle your services because you're taking up too much bandwidth, right, or something like that.
yeah, exactly. Because they
Or
the
specific websites, smaller websites, they can't like
mhm,
slow it down. Like if you were to go to my website, Teledyne's or whatever, you know,
mhm.
I probably shouldn't have said that on stream, but whatever.
Eh. Um, yes, exactly. They can't. The internet service provider cannot arbitrarily decide that certain websites deserve certain like premiums or whatever, or like charge like different fees to be like, oh well, you if you want the like this, the actual speed, then you got to pay this rate or whatever, or doing like a multi-tiered premium system
Mm-hmm.
of getting people money. Like, yeah, no, it's just you're providing a utility service like electricity. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter what they're using it for. I mean, you're charging by the amount used. Period.
Right.
Yeah, and same with like water. Yeah, it's in that vein. I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad to hear that that's back. In fact, I'm actually kind of surprised that the most recent John Oliver um, didn't at least give it like a 5 second like, hey everyone, net neutrality's back, woo, and then move
Well,
on to
they
whatever he was
haven't.
talking about.
Well, maybe they. When did it pass?
It was pretty recent. It was like within the last. It would have been. Oh, at least within the last week or two, but I know for sure it would have been earlier
Well,
and
I'm sure.
early enough that he could have included it if
True.
he. Yeah,
Well, you might this week.
it's possible. Yeah. Um. But anyway, yeah. So I had that written down as a note for discussion. Um. I jumping to a different segment. And this would have been back when we were talking about space stuff. Scientists think that they may have discovered a ninth planet,
Or again?
as in still within recently the last few weeks, unless you're talking about anything more since then,
No,
earlier than.
no. This was something they talked about like years ago.
Oh, um, I don't know, maybe. Yeah. So what they're saying with this possible ninth planet is that they noticed some gravitational
Yeah,
oddities with Neptune.
yeah. This is old news.
Okay.
This is years ago.
Weird, because yeah, I guess then they, I guess, shined it up, or maybe there was some recent bit of information that maybe like helped to add this to it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, I'll admit this is the first I was hearing of it specifically. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, maybe that was the case, that there was just something that maybe helped to support that idea. Then
Yeah. Planet X,
okay.
Nibiru, the Anunnaki.
um, yeah, they didn't go so far as to saying any of that.
Oh, I know.
Um, but yeah, just that.
Anunnaki.
But I do know that article was going into a bit more information to basically say like why it's so hard to detect a planet in our own solar system that's a lot closer than like all these planets we keep detecting in other solar
Yeah, it's
systems.
further away. It's like looking,
Yeah.
it's
Um.
easier to see a cluster of dots when they're far away, but if you're right in the middle of it, it's,
Mhm.
how would
Yeah, because
you?
they were talking about like the method of like we are able to detect anything that moves in front of its sun, blocking the sun's light from us.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Um.
here you'd have to detect gravitational waves or physically
Yeah.
see it. So,
Yeah, because we're pretty much never going to have to where it's going to block the sun's light from us.
right. So,
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's interesting.
well, the Earth is flat, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Only
this
one
is
that is flat.
yeah, the only one. We have flat earthers. We have believers all around the world. You know,
Hmm.
it's just ugh, so many stupid fucking people out there. I think that the whole conspiracy theory stuff is half of it is just somebody trolling to see how many people would buy into it, and then people do, and then it becomes a thing.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, because there's some conspiracy theory that's going around that is a joke, but there are birds aren't real. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting stance to take. But I
It's
guess
made up though.
it
It
works
is
for them.
supposed to be. The whole point is that it's not real. It's
Oh,
made up.
okay.
But there
Oh,
are
fair
some
enough.
people that actually do believe it.
Mm,
But it was made. The whole thing was made up. The people that made up the conspiracy theory did it as a joke to see how many people
okay.
would buy into this crap, and turns out quite a few.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about the part that like the creators came forward and said no, we were just joking.
Yeah.
But I had heard a few people before saying, I think the arguments that like they're all like little robots or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Let's see. In another bit of news, Florida banned lab-grown meat.
What?
Yep.
Why?
To protect the beef industry.
Oh well. Yeah. I obviously, but what's their
Like,
rationale?
uh, their rationale is the governor came forward and after banning it said we're doing this to protect our beef industry.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no mincing words there. Like that was legitimately. Oh, but there's a caveat. They are allowed to still do the lab grown meat research um, for the space industry. So NASA can continue doing it
Mm,
for if there's anything related to, you know, growing the meat for space.
mm-hmm.
Because we don't want to harm that. But otherwise, we need to make sure that, you know, our cattle industry is, you know, not being impacted by the possibility of this lab grown meat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um yeah, I definitely think it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, it's not we're not at the point that I think that it has any possible like significant harm to that industry to be doing this now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure if it's a trend that continues and it's actually is successful and they can get the cost down, yeah, we'll get there. But you know, short of a nationwide ban, it's just basically saying, okay, we just won't do anything in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, like, okay, well, like this is how change happens. It's like you know, lab grown meat is to like cattle and beef as green energy is to coal. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just this is just where things are going, and there's advantages to it.
Are you not
So
in the
why
game?
are we? Huh? Oh, I'm not in the game because yeah, I've lost connection back with the
Oh,
internet
okay.
thing.
Sorry. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. Um, But yeah, again, just one of those stories that I don't think got very much media attention, particularly with everything else going on. Um, but I did think that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I don't know how I feel about lab grown meat. I don't know if it's better for the environment. Sure.
Yeah, I think that's definitely supposed to be one of the arguments is that it's better for the environment, it's more humane because it's not actually a living animal that is
Mm-hmm.
being raised and then slaughtered.
Right.
Any kind of religious issues of like halal and kosher or whatever, it meets those standards because it didn't have to be like specially killed or whatever in the way that those religions require.
Mm-hmm.
Again, because it was never a living animal. So yeah, it's just better in basically every aspect, I think, except for right now. I think the cost isn't there yet.
Well, yeah.
I'm assuming this is a bad tank. Yeah, this seems to be a bad tank.
There we go.
Oh, and now there is a chopper.
Oh my god.
But yeah, just a very knee jerk reaction
Mm-hmm.
of like they probably heard something about how it's environmentalist liberals or whatever want it, and then they're like, oh, we need to do everything we can to be against that as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't really news as much as just a concerning comment I noted that Trump said. That he mentioned if he is elected president, one of the things he wants to do is make police immune to prosecution.
Mm-hmm. I'd heard about that a while ago.
Fair, yeah. I mean, like I said, some of these are notes are from you know a bit ago. So there's that. Again, not really news, but there as a discussion point. I guess we're getting two new Lord of the Rings films,
Yeah.
which I definitely feel like because they're talking about. I think it's going to be like the Hunt for Gollum is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
Feels very cash grabby.
Yeah. I don't care. I have no
Yeah,
interest in that.
yeah. I mean, like, I like that Andy Serkis is involved, and I guess he's going to be directing it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, in a sense of like, if somebody just came to me with not mentioning any of the people that were previously involved in Lord of the Rings and just like this is the idea, I would say, wow, that's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
There's not even like even as a video game that sounds dumb.
Yeah.
And then there was of course the Gollum video game that crashed and burned. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what that was about. So yeah, because at least like Rings of Power, as much as people keep like shitting on that show for I think no good reason, that's at least taking material from the Similarian and trying to turn it into a like a story. So it's still Tolkien's concepts being turned into something, and pretty sure this Hunt for Gollum thing is going to be literally just make up some stuff. I'm assuming between the time jump when when Gandalf was gone for like 16 years or whatever the time span was, that they didn't even actually say in the movies how long it was.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd only know. I think maybe the extended cut did. maybe. But I mean, the book obviously did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that would be like the one spot that makes sense based on the title and what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But but yeah, I mean it's again, even the book just briefly describes that some stuff happened and time passed. Like there's nothing there. You're literally just making stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
Like worse than the Silmarillion.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so where was this in the grand scheme of things in the timeline?
Yeah, I mean they haven't officially said. Like I said, my guess is just when um, Gandalf notices that Frodo has the ring and is like, "I'm gonna do some research," and then he goes away for like 16 or 17 years, and when he comes back to Frodo and he's all like,
Yep.
is it secret? Is it safe?
Safe.
Whatever, and then he gives the explanation of,
Which makes it sound like in the
I
in the
searched
movie.
for the creature Gollum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the movie, it makes it sound like it was like a minute, a couple minutes, or
Yeah,
a
that's what I'm
few
saying. I,
hours.
I feel like maybe the extended cut did mention the time that passed. I don't remember. But the book for sure, it's supposed to be like 16 or 17 years.
Wow, a long time. Frodo would have aged, and he would have looked a lot older because Frodo was supposed to be in his 50s, right? Anyway.
Yeah, Frodo is supposed to be 50 when when he starts his journey.
Yeah.
But he was 33 when he received the ring.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes sense from the movie perspective that he wouldn't have aged because that was the whole thing with Bilbo too, that he says, you haven't aged a day
Mm-hmm. True.
because
Yeah.
the ring is doing that for him. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Sam should look a shit ton older,
Mm-hmm.
as and Mary and Pippin, because they
Right.
all would be about roughly the same age too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you get an excuse for Frodo.
Mm-hmm. Whatever. I haven't seen those movies in so long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently we're getting the theatrical release of the extended cuts in
Again,
June.
I saw
As
them
far
in.
as
I saw the
yeah.
extended cuts in the theater.
Oh, okay. They made it sound like they hadn't done this before, so I don't know. Maybe was that maybe just a local thing there?
I don't know. No, 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 because
No.
we went every week. It was every Tuesday, I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
or Thursday. I thought it was Tuesday. Anyway, we went, and it was right down the street from us in Warwick, and it was for the first two movies. They had an introduction by Peter Jackson,
Oh, okay.
special for this, and it was because the Blu-ray releases of the extended cuts is what this was.
Oh.
So I don't know where they're, you know,
I don't know. They made it sound like they haven't done this before, and I didn't remember them doing this because I didn't see them doing that in theaters. So I guess that's why they say it because there are people like me, and I mean, I even feel like I keep up with Lord of the Rings more than the average person.
mm-hmm,
And yeah, that's they can just say whatever they want. Facts don't matter in the 21st century.
I guess not. But I remember it. I was there. Jen and I went. We saw all three
Yeah.
extended cuts in the theater. Boy, I tell you, The Return of the King is fucking long. That's 4 hours. It's a 4 hour movie.
Yeah. I imagine you start to feel it.
Your ass hurts after that one. Yeah.
Mm, yes. I'm definitely interested in watching all the extended cuts again because I haven't done that in a pretty long time. But I don't know if I would go to theaters to see them. Maybe. I mean, it is a good experience, but that is a commitment.
Mm-hmm. If they release it in IMAX, now that I
Ooh,
might do.
okay. Hmm.
If they do an IMAX thing, I might do that. I'll have to cancel whatever else I have going on, quit my job, that sort of thing. You know? um, but yeah,
Alright.
why did you leave your last job? because I needed to see the extended cut of The Lord of the Rings in the IMAX.
Mm.
A once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, you get a job at like some kind of comic book store, game store, something
Mm-hmm.
along those lines. They probably would be like, "Oh yeah, no, totally understand. You're hired."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, exactly. Because one of the questions on like Toy Vault or Newberry Comics is who shot first, Han or Greedo?
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine. Hmm. I think I got all the alarms. Oops, sorry.
Oh, oh, you in the tank?
No, no, I shot.
Oh,
Oh, as you were running
someone's
by.
in a tank, and I guess that's a bad sign. Okay. So, Supremo it. There we go.
What'd you do? Oh yeah. Right, I forgot. I keep forgetting about that damn thing.
Hmm.
Oh, that's what I just did. That's what V did. Oh, oops.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I was trying to pull my phone up.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Is that B? That's
The
B.
what? Oh yes. Well,
B is in ball is the phone.
yeah. I was. Oh, the camera. So that's
Yeah.
X.
Camera, yeah. Oh. Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, either way, I've gotten to where at least today, I'm remembering about the Supremo. So I've taken down that tank now, and then I've done a couple choppers with it today, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty handy, and I know I have a perk that makes it recharge faster if I get headshots.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember that being a thing. I don't know where those are at. Um, but yes, I do have that,
You got to be in the
and
one of the
it's very
towns or
nice.
something. You get. You know.
Maybe.
Oh my God. Hmm. Well, it's almost midnight.
Oh yeah, your time. That's true. Let me see if I can just quickly mention the last few things that I had.
Oh yeah, sure.
Um. Oh, I actually only had one thing left, and that was my personal experience to the strawberry Pasadena Strawberry Festival that they had.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they basically just had a small town festival that I went to here this Saturday, and it was awful. There was one building with air conditioning. The
Oh
day
God.
was hot as fuck because it was like a post rain kind of day. So the humidity was making 90-degree temperatures feel like 100.
Mm-hmm.
The one building with air conditioning had no seats in it. So you just had to kind of, yeah, you just kind of just stand around. There were seats outside, but of course, then you'd have to be outside in the awful weather. So it's like choosing between, you know, melting or resting. And then I've got to see an interaction between what I would say is stereotypically Republican, where one of the vendors was getting butthurt because it was like some kind of like a cooking kind of event where he's like trying to like sell people cookware because people are going to a festival being like, I'm not searching for some cookware, but if I see some really good ones, I'm open to it. Like what? So yeah, so he's there doing that, and there's just a bunch of us like really hot whatever people needing to sit down in the AC. And he's like, "Oh, I can't believe this. To spend $1,000 just to give you people some seats." It's like I could take this cookware anywhere. I could sell it to whoever. Blah blah blah. It's like you guys, you don't even know. Like you think you can buy this online? You can't buy this online. Like this is special
The
stuff.
fuck?
Whatever. Yeah, like he was being a dick. And then someone in the audience was all like, "Oh, well, if do you want to like demonstrate it? Like, I'm curious to see like what it is." And it's like, "Oh, you don't care. You're just here to sit, take up whatever." And then the person's like, "Oh, well, I have like three high-end restaurants, and so I can't believe you would talk to me like that. Like you just lost a sale."
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy's like, "Yeah, well, I guess that's how it goes. Sometimes people would just be like this."
What the fuck?
Yeah, and I'm like, but that's how I see it. It's like as being why I say it's like a Republican kind of thing, because it's that sense of like each individual person thinking like I'm something special, and
Mm-hmm.
and then being like, no, but I'm more special. Yeah, well, I'm special too.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And it's like, first of all, is it likely this person has three high-end restaurants to be coming slapping back at him on this? I'm gonna go with no.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. And even if they happened by a pure coincidence, chance, whatever, actually own restaurants, period, to say that they are high end is probably overselling them by leaps and bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so but yeah, and then like I said, this guy's he already started by being a dick. Like it's like the idea of like you're and the thing is like this guy, it's not like this is his first time there, because one, I actually recognized the guy from 7 years ago. I made a comment earlier in the day of like, wow, his booth is set up in literally the exact same spot it was 7 years ago, and he's doing the exact same thing as he did 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Maybe
was
that's
blown
why.
away by that.
Maybe that's why he's so bitter.
Right. Um, but yeah, and then he made a comment about something like he's been coming to this thing for 23 years. At a previous, like earlier in the day when I was making that comment about like, oh my god, I can't believe it's that much how that similar.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm like, you see how you're setting yourself up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, you should know what this is.
Right.
Like, why would you just be a dick? Like I can see from his perspective of like what he's saying. If he is legitimately a vendor trying to, make sales, and it is true that he literally spent $1,000 for his spot there, and he's
Mm-hmm.
made no sales. Yeah, I could see being a little upset about it if it's your business, whatever. Trying to do that, but it doesn't excuse you for being a dick, though.
No,
It
nothing
just
does.
means that, yeah, it's like then that tells you like you need to do something about it. And if the issue is that people are coming in out of the heat and sitting in your area because you're the only place that actually has seats set up in the entire air conditioned building, then maybe you should use your position as a paying vendor to talk to the powers that be and say, hey, you guys need to, get your shit together with the seating situation, or I won't be back.
Mm-hmm.
That would be great for everybody involved.
Right. But if he's the only place with seating that's air conditioned, you kind of have a captive audience.
Yeah, and I thought that was his game actually. Like when I was sitting there, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's smart," because he's always gonna have people looking at his shit. It's like, "Oh, you want to sit? Well, you're gonna be sitting through my infomercial." You know, it's like whether or not you're gonna buy anything. I'm like, I guess that's another story. But still, if there's a chance that you're going to tempt somebody, that's how you would do it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was pissed off about that. And I was like, "Yep, this back and forth, like I said, it in what I think of as Republicans interacting and whatever, like like that was my sense
With each other.
for sure. Yeah,
Two toddlers.
basically. Oh, and then one other thing, and this was um, also, I would say, very Republican, but in a different way. So I was there with my roommate, who is just from his voice, as I'm sure you've heard some, is very obviously gay.
Mm-hmm.
So we went up to a vendor that was doing like custom T-shirts, as well as like some like jewelry items or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And of note, among the jewelry items, there were some rings that were like the main head part of the ring was just the Confederate flag.
Huh.
So that already kind of tells you a lot right there.
Oh my God.
But yeah, my roommate asked like, "Oh yeah, so with your shirts that you make, like, are there any like restrictions that you have on like, will you do just any kind of shirt that
Mm-hmm.
people ask for?" And the guy's like, "Well, um, I won't do anything like cuss words, so it's like got to keep it clean, and I won't do anything same sex."
Mm.
And I'm like, "What?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Really?
okay, like that's the second thing you're gonna go with? Just like I was like overhearing that, and I'm just like,
Meanwhile, he probably has a fuck Joe Biden
I
flag.
right? Oh hell yeah! Like no question, no question. Um, but yeah, like I said, I was just like, I was surprised to see that the guy just said that blatantly to my roommate's face.
Mm.
Like that is some balls and some prejudice, like all wrapped in one.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Texas. Gotta love it.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
would
This,
ever say something like that up here.
yeah, this, like, the whole festival was just like it was like Republican fest for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, there were definitely people with like MAGA stuff going around. Funny enough, the one guy I have on Facebook that I knew from when I first was doing gaming, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my reasons for particularly wanting to keep him among my Facebook stream is because he's one of my sources for stereotypical old white guy Republican viewpoints.
Mm-hmm.
Ran into him there,
Oh.
so that's as an indication.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh Jesus. Well, I mean,
But yeah, just as a personal, the whole thing was actually pretty awful. Oh, apparently that was a mine. I don't think I was supposed to walk on that.
mm,
I was curious what it was though. Anyway, so yeah, the whole thing was just an awful experience. Like they had no shows, they had no like entertainment of any kind.
really?
It was hot. One of the big things, I guess, as a draw, they have like a barbecue cook-off thing where it's like tents and tents of people doing barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were like, oh, okay, so yeah, plenty of barbecue vendors to, buy some barbecue from. And they're like, no, no, this like we're making the barbecue for the judging contest, so people can't actually eat the barbecue until like late in the evening. And we were there at, asking about this at like noon.
Oh my
We're like,
God.
seriously, like half of the size of this entire thing is
So
being
what was
taken
the
up by
point of
people
this?
doing
Why
barbecue.
would anybody go to this? It sounds horrible.
Yeah, it really was. It's like I remembered the first time I went 7 years ago. We went on the first day, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're still setting some stuff up, so we don't have like the full experience for you, whatever." And I kind of took that to be like, "Oh, okay, so when there wasn't really much to do, or some of the food that wasn't available, etc., it was just because it was the first day and they hadn't set up yet."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was like middle of the festival, Saturday, like what would be like their busy day,
Mm-hmm.
the highlight of the thing, and there was nothing. There was like because we were even like, oh okay, well we'll go to one of some of the local food vendors that are actually like they have like a food vendor path, I guess, set up. to where people were selling like fair food, like a lot of things that are traditional fair food. And it's like somebody's got to be doing barbecue here. Basically, no. Like they were just doing like bacon wrapped chicken and deep fried Oreos and elephant ears
Oh my
and
God. Like bad
whatever.
fair
And it's
food.
just yeah, and it's like just you can't do just like a barbecue plate or something.
Really. I mean,
Like
good Lord.
it didn't seem like we were asking for very much there. And of course, at a strawberry festival, you expect things to be some stuff with strawberries, and generally no. There's they were selling some fresh strawberries, which I didn't remember that from the first time I went there, but they had that this time. But they were overpriced strawberries, which seems to defeat the point because seems like the whole idea of the strawberry festival is that we just harvested strawberries and we have an overabundance. Yay, strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you selling them for a container is like $5?
Jesus.
And I can go, yeah, I can go to a supermarket right now and get the same container for $2.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it there was the from my view of doing the event, there was like no redeeming quality. Oh, and they charge you to go there too. It's like $15 entry. So yeah, there's like an entry fee. There was nothing to do. It was hot as fuck, and all in all, a bad time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with some racism and bigotry tossed in.
Right. Sprinkled on top.
Yeah. Well, I guess okay. To be fair, nothing was specifically racist, I guess, but I'm sure it would have been there.
Oh, it was there. It was more of a flambe.
Oh, you know what? The Confederate flag rings. There we go.
Oh,
Boom,
there you go.
racism.
There you go.
Got it there. Got there. So yeah, but still, that was a day in the life of living in Texas and trying to do a Texas thing.
They're just angry people, man.
Oh, but yeah, I did also go to on this is the weekend beforehand. They did a strawberry festival parade, which was like literally one street over from me. So I was like, yeah, well, you should probably check that out and see what that looks like. It was basically a bunch of trucks just driving down the road. Some of the trucks were decorated a little bit, you know, but for the most part, yeah, just a bunch of trucks. Um, the first truck had the mayor of the town. It was like a long-haired white guy. Thought that
Oh
was
my
kind of
God.
the long hair part kind of threw me off. Um, and oh, also the college I work for, they had a float that was actually the only thing that I would probably say qualified as a float, short of just being a truck.
The only floats they have is a root beer float.
Nice. Um, but yeah, it like I will say one of the things that was done well was they had like the local like high school or whatever like marching bands doing it in the parade, and they were actually
Mm-hmm.
pretty good. Like I was actually fairly impressed with that. Like they were all in step with each other,
Mm-hmm.
all in tune, playing like recognizable tunes, but with marching band kind of sound. Um,
Like
so yeah,
what?
that
Like
that
what?
that helped to make it be a parade. Shoot, I'm trying to think. There were more like I would say modern kind of songs, like stuff that's like popular radio kind of songs. So
Mm.
I recognized them. Oh wait, one wasn't though. One was more of a classic song, but I don't remember what it was. I just remember I recognized it. I think maybe it might have been a song that had like groovy in the title,
Mm.
but making me think of. But damn, yeah, I'm getting not getting there. Um, but yeah, still at the end of like just all instrumental. Um, and then just kind of walking down. And considering also the length that they were walking, I'm like, that's pretty fairly impressive. I mean, it's not like the Macy's Day Parade, I'm sure, in distance that they have to travel. But would I want to walk that distance? If I didn't have to do anything and they were just like, yeah, just walk alongside a float for that distance, whatever, I would still be like, no, no thanks. I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was still a good solid, oh, few miles.
Mm-hmm. So, is there any MAGA trucks there?
Oh, for the parade, no. Um,
At least they had
that
some sort of
was
decency.
Yeah, yeah, no, it kept it. The only political thing was the mayor's truck, which he is the mayor of the town. Fine.
Yeah, that's typical.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would be weird if he wasn't there. It's like, oh, what, you think you're too good to be in a parade for your town? Like, but yeah, no, like I said, that was a thing. So it was, like I said, that wasn't that bad. It wasn't great, but it was definitely a small town trying to put together a parade, and you get what you get. But I didn't have any expectations too much higher than that, so sure.
Well, that's funny because like the local parade, the last time I went to a local parade was in Warwick, where they did it was a celebration of the Apollo moon landing.
Ooh, okay.
It was like 50 years or whatever it was in 2019. Yeah.
Funny how we have NASA here, and I didn't hear nothing about that.
Mm-hmm. That's funny. That's weird. Yeah, they had the Apollo parade,
Yeah. Well, okay, I should say in the sense of a parade.
and I
Yes, I
forget.
do believe that they were doing an advertisement for like, come see the NASA Space Center 50 years, blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
there was
You,
a
yeah.
specific reason why it took place. There was like somebody that was involved with that, with specifically Apollo 11, lived in that area or something, or was from there.
One time visited the town and had a sandwich.
I something like that. Exactly. I don't know. Either way, but the parade actually was pretty good. It was actually they had big floats and these like rockets and like made up like little rockets and stuff like that, marching bands and all this stuff. It was kind of cool.
Hmm.
They blocked off the road for it. It was nice to see like an appreciation for that out of nowhere.
Yeah, and hopefully not too many protesters talking about how NASA lied and the
Oh
Earth's
no,
flat.
no, none of that. No, we don't really get that up here.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, we do get we'll get like the MAGA crowd down in the down in that area next to the airport. That's a big area for protests. It's either Providence or by the airport where you came in.
Mhm.
Basically, we drove by the area where there's an IHOP and my old job and stuff. Um, they usually outside by the IHOP, protesting the MAGA crowd, and they were protesting over by the my old job, the Tech 911 place, where they
Oh,
once our side was the liberal side, and then the other side of the street, Post Road, which is kind of like somewhat of a major thoroughfare, yelling at each other across the street. It, you know,
wow.
except the MAGA crowd had like a truck with big PA speakers on it, blasting "Sweet Home Alabama" and other Leonard Skinner
Yeah,
tunes.
I believe it though.
Yeah, is like, yep, that tracks, right? And then and then I loved it. It was so great. After it was just after the
Mouthful.
election, right? Some of it in 2020,
Hmm.
and they're standing out there. Stop the steal, stop the steal. There's a lot of that, and they're out there, protesting in the rain. Started raining on them. It was fucking funny.
Um,
They're out there, their hands, oh, it's drenched and getting rained on, and the flag on the back of a truck. Oh, say, can you see?
Nice.
Oh, it's funny watching those people just like lose their mind, and you dwindle like next couple of days be less until finally, like what a
Hmm.
waste of time. I don't know. I think protesting is a major waste of time. I know that they know the whole thing going on now, but it's, it's such I don't have time for that. You know,
Hmm.
who has time for that? College students, people that they don't have jobs. You know, they don't have anything else to do. A little, I mean, I will agree with Bill Maher on that. It does kind of seem like a little bit elitist, a little bit privileged. I mean, I get that they're doing it. It's not like they're quitting their job to go protest, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Not that, you know, but they're not, you know, on the right side of history, like I said. But it's like, come on,
Mm,
and especially like the whole MAGA thing. My God, what a waste.
mm.
Or even the, like the protest, the BLM protest. Like I would never go out in that. It's too dangerous. First of all, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I've definitely been wondering how the city of New York is continuing to function after all the hundreds of thousands of protesters have been going to Trump's court hearings every day.
Oh yeah, right. You mean the 10 people that are sitting
Yeah,
there?
right.
If that.
Um, which oh yeah, so I did like that for the confirmed debates that we're gonna get.
Oh
Um,
yeah, we'll have
yeah,
to
I
stream
got yeah,
that. We'll have to
that
stream
was
that
something I
one.
didn't write down. Yeah, because it's like the first one's gonna be like June 20th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty close. Um, but yeah, did you hear the thing that Biden like released, basically calling for the debates?
Yeah, he says something. I heard he's free on Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that was a good bit
Mm-hmm.
to mention. I was like, okay, I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Well, yeah, it's on a Thursday. I remember because even though he's yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I mean,
So,
by that point, it'll be, I'm sure, done one way or the other.
well, if he gets arrested though, the debates then won't happen, right?
Um, well, I wouldn't be surprised because they can always delay the when the what am I trying to say? The punishment, the what do you call that? Sentence. Yeah. They can delay when the sentence would be served, so they might make a decision to say like, well, in light of the political concerns related to this, we won't the sentence won't begin being served until like November, whatever the day is after election
Well,
day.
that's the point, right? That's the whole thing. Then he gets in, then he gets to pardon himself.
Well, so he actually wouldn't be able to pardon this because this is a state crime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they were making a distinction between this one and one of his other, because he has four court cases pending, and this one and one of the one that's I think the Georgia election
So
interference
then what do we
specifically.
have? Like a
Uh,
president that has to run the country from prison?
yeah, I mean, unless the judge says like in light of his service he wouldn't start his sentence until after the presidency ends at that point, which I still think is messed up. Like it should absolutely be like, yeah, you did the crime, you got to do the time.
Fine. Well, now, but then the thing is that how do you? He'd be the president. He would figure out a way. There would be a
Hmm.
way to get him out of the whole thing. I
Yeah.
know it's a state crime. You can't pardon yourself, but if he's the president,
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, at that point, then maybe have leaning on the governor of New York to pardon him.
mm-hmm.
That could be a way to go it.
Yeah. Couldn't you just like stop? Like stop funding the state with federal money? Retaliate?
Yeah, yeah, there are definitely ways he could lean on them for sure. I Yeah, it's a concern for sure. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I mean, that's the whole thing. Literally, the case for Georgia. He was trying to use his position as president to lean on an election official to find a certain number of votes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're, you know, yeah, if he got elected, there's no reason to think he's not going to do something like that again. Or worse.
But what could he really do, you know? Because a lot of the MAGA people, they don't really think he could be like a dictator and really take over the,
Yeah. Well, and
in
like I said, it's
democracy. And
he would have to have the majority in all levels of government.
mm-hmm.
And the thing is, like, then that would also, like, he kind of already has it with the supermajority for the Supreme Court, as long as he can convince five of them to do what he wants and not rule something's unconstitutional. Which I guess a good test of that right now is this immunity case,
Mm-hmm.
to see if he actually does control that level of government.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. Man, I'm getting tired.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, that's basically all I had for the moment. So I think I'm down in the holding cells, but I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to be doing down here. But I did see at least one prisoner, so that makes me think I'm in the right spot.
I think you just still have to kill the people, right? You have to just
Oh,
capture the
you
base.
just got some kind of key.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you got armory key.
Oh,
So, okay, well, the doors that I thought may be open, but they did not. So let me try some of the doors. Oh, use key. Okay, that's a good sign. And I have found stuff, not a people. Okay, well, we get some gunpowder. Now something about soldiers. Okay.
God. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, chopper is down. Although that still doesn't help with this mission problem.
Where's the holding cells?
I found them on the floor lower than this one.
Oh,
Um,
Jesus.
oh, it was just kill everyone.
Yeah, it usually is.
Well, damn.
Alrighty. Cool. Well, we're gonna have to do a. We should be able to finish a lot of this stuff up soon.
Update on the Iran president thing. It says no survivors
Drivers
found
found.
after helicopter.
Yeah, I saw that.
President believed dead.
Jesus. Not good.
Yeah, because I could have sworn earlier in the day they said they were in contact with a couple of the people,
Mm-hmm.
and that they were describing the crash as, like, not that bad. but don't know what's that about.
Mm, not good. Not good.
Yes, there's so many ways that this will just be a like even taking the situation as just accidents happen, whatever, nobody at fault. It's still going to, I'm sure, lead to some kind of a like upheaval of current relations in the area as they look to do whatever the line of secession is that they have.
Mm-hmm. Man. All right.
So yeah, we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see. Alrighty. Well, anyway, I'm gonna shut the stream off. We are done for now.
Ooh, cool.
Until the next time.